Activision devs do not play their own game. It's not your dad doesn't support you.
You should know, you worked at a coffee shop, you stupid bitch.
My name is Casey, and absolutely not fucking Tanner, because my parents don't hate me that much.
Hey, did they have just 8 patches lined up, but they just didn't release them because they were on break? No, you moron kids.
Then we'll, of course, get into it. Change your fucking name and get scammed. He's feeling under the weather.
I probably won't say another word until Stay Humble, so have a good pod, Raz. I'll be here listening.
Got it. Drexler said, fuck airplane mode. That's a funny comment. I like that. We are live.
Yeah, was the plane just going to crash?
Boys and girls, too. I never understood that. The Dropshot Call of Duty podcast, episode number 233. Big ep today. Big solid ep. Real good day for the night before for my dog to have woken me up 50 times. Real awesome. So shout out to Jax, enemy of the pod, and welcome to the show. Today we have a lot to discuss, a lot to get into. We got a very big, substantive, actually, somehow, patch, Season 3 Reloaded to Warzone.
Monster
and that,
seasons.
Yeah. And that is what we're discussing today. And there is a lot to go through. So strap in. It's going to be un-ep. And we are excited to share it with you. If you're new here, if you're a new listener, reminder, you can skip to wherever you want because we timestamp the episodes. So just look in the video description, look in the show notes if you're on an app, and you can skip ahead to whatever you want to hear about. So with that said, before we get into this episode, we have a couple of announcements, some of which we've shared on Patreon, some of which we have not shared publicly, and I'm very excited to get into them. So first, before that, welcome to our new gold patrons, Red X 21. Change it, obviously. A lot. It looks like you're in Caldera pre-Season 3 Reloaded, by the way, in that avatar. It's all stormy and dark. You're on like a beach. What is that? What is that, man? Did Raven Photoshop that profile picture? Red X21. Change it, obviously. And welcome, dude. And Alex H as well. Our new gold fucking patron. Much appreciated, gents. Alex H is a fine name. The profile picture, let's re-expand this here. It's a fine profile picture. It's some guy and some other guy or a girl.
Wow.
Can barely tell.
Alex
H
pixels. Likes girls. Nice, man. Happy for
One
you,
of the
dude.
first. One of the first who listens to this podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard, bud. And to both of you, thank you very much. Not enough patrons, and I'd belabor this point more if I didn't sleep for 3 hours and we didn't have a long episode to get into. So
yeah, this is outrageous,
everyone else,
actually,
it's absurd.
Maybe the worst month ever, to be honest, since we started it. What have we gotten? Fucking 5? I mean, it's a joke. Hey, you guys want Warzone 2 content?
Yeah.
That sucks. It's never coming because we won't be a thing at that point. So cool, man. Fuck
we'll
you.
be filing for bankruptcy. Yeah. Patreon.com/Dropshot, best way to support the show. 7 bonus eps a month. We do monthly hangouts and more. Check it out. Patreon.com/TheDropshot. We just released this morning, in fact, a Patreon episode about the island, the Island. And luckily, pretty much everything we said in that episode is still relevant after Season 3 Reloaded, except for a minor discussion we had about the Jack 12, which is no longer worth using. But that was kind of like a side note when we talked about it anyway, and the rest of the episode still applies, and I think that was a really good episode. Tanner and I played some Rebirth, talked about all the new changes, because we hadn't gotten a chance to do that before this morning, releasing that episode. and we did a lot of actual brainstorming and like trying to figure out how to play Rebirth, because Tanner and I don't play much Rebirth. We play an amount, but not as much as probably many of you. And we're going to start doing Rebirth Island brainstorms on Patreon more often, because for some reason we hadn't put 2 and 2 together that there's probably a lot of you who listen, or excuse me, who are patrons, who are listeners, who play Rebirth Island a lot. We should be talking about that more. So I think it's not going to be like a rule, but we're going to try to do a Rebirth brainstorm every month in the same way that we try to do like a regular Warzone brainstorm every month. And I thought that Rebirth brainstorm ep that is now live for all patrons went really well, and I quite enjoyed it. And Tanner, you found the secret meta, is that correct?
Oh, of course I did, yeah. Now, I don't know with these health changes how that's going to remain, because the item doesn't have the... is the gun, of course, I'm talking about, and it doesn't have a whole lot of ammo, so it technically got a little bit worse with the 300 health increase, so... I don't know, man, but I mean, obviously it's still going to kill faster up close. The will kill faster up close like every other gun, so that remains true, but... You know, when I had said before it was viable solos, duos, and kind of trios, at this point it's probably just solos and duos. So if you don't have friends, is the meta, and we talk all about that in the latest Patreon episode.
Yeah, for sure. And other things as well. Perks, loadout, strat. There was a lot of like brainstorming and discussion and trying to figure out what the play is. And I really, really enjoyed that episode. It was pretty long too. So, if you want to listen to that, it is available to all patrons. Once again, patreon.com/thedropshot. Best way to support the show. Now, also, Tanner, can we get one of these ready?
Yeah, I was trying to look for one. I had forgot about it. I was trying to find one right now.
So Tanner and I are unveiling a new segment on the podcast. And we're going to do our first installment right now. Okay. We didn't have too much. I mean, frankly, I forgot about this too. This segment, but we're going to find some material for this segment right now. And someone recommended this, and it was an excellent idea. But again, since we were playing,
it was
Warzone
me
this
that
morning,
recommended it. Yeah. It was
my idea, like I just said.
Okay.
And we were playing some Warzone this morning, so we just like forgot to look into this. But what the new segment is for every episode, probably dumbest TikTok comment of the day. Okay. Now we might phase this into dumbest TikTok comment of the week, but there are so many to choose from that we're going to do it every public episode.
I mean, I can do 10 right now if we wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are going to find the dumbest comment on a TikTok video we've made between a podcast and another podcast and share it with you guys. This is a new segment we're doing called Dumbest TikTok Comment of the Day. Tanner, do we have any contenders?
We've got a lot, so I'll quickly go over a few here. So we got one from some guy. It was the talk.
What's the clip? Yeah.
Okay. It was the talk where we talked about you will never hear footsteps in Warzone that well, even with this season update. Mm-hmm. We got a comment here from a guy who posts a lot of Warzone clips, by the way. He says, quote, "This has been something I've never heard anyone say in Warzone, by the way. Quote, I hear footsteps perfectly fine with 5 dots. Really? That's how you can tell this is a dog of shit person if they claim they can hear footsteps. It's just outrageous. Also in that same clip, we had been bitching about the slide bug where you can't look down while sliding.
Yes, these were the same. Yeah.
Some guy had the audacity to say they've never claimed to fix it. You can tell he never plays because he says it happens frequently. Laughing face. He says I don't know because I don't play that the slide bug happens. What? That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah. Can we repeat that comment verbatim one more time?
They've never claimed to fix it. Also, you can tell he never plays because he says it happens frequently, laughing face. Mike R. Shout out to Mike R.
Shout out to Mike R on TikTok. In my view, the author of the dumbest TikTok comment of the day.
Yeah.
Because what fucking game have you been playing since before Warzone came out, in fact, literally, where the slide bug doesn't happen to you often? Huh?
I know. Yep.
Every single decline, stairs or just going down a hill, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Every time. Every time. I mean, if it doesn't happen to this guy often, because he doesn't slide, why doesn't he slide? Well, that's an interesting question, isn't it? Wonder how his performance is in the average lobby, and wonder how much he moves his character. But to say it doesn't happen often is insane. I couldn't believe it. Yeah. That's my nominee right there for the dumbest TikTok comment of the day. Yeah. And then I just can't believe he plays Warzone and thinks it doesn't happen all the fucking time. Like every game, actually.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other one, this has been the hottest talk of the week, is we talked about Warzone 2 leak that there's going to be no more slide canceling, and then Raz goes on a rant about remove slide canceling. I don't care. And we specifically said it was for Warzone 2. We don't give a shit if it's there because the leaks are that the movement speed's better. You don't need slide canceling. We slide cancel now because you move around the map faster because the movement is too slow in Warzone. So that's what we said.
Was in the TikTok too.
That's what we said. The comment section is full of people. If you can't slide cancel, just say that. If you could slide cancel, you would want to keep it. It's no, I don't want it removed from Warzone right now because the movement's too slow. If they increase the sprinting movement speed, the walking movement speed, the tack sprint movement speed by 5 to 7% right now, then I would say, cool, remove slide canceling then. And also, I was absolutely shocked. I thought everyone knew what slide canceling is. Maybe people don't. People literally think when you say slide canceling, it means stopping a slide. Oh, that was the dumbest comment. I don't see it here, but somebody said, bro, if you can't slide cancel, gunfights are going to be awful because you'll be caught sliding while you're getting shot at, not being able to do anything. I'm like, that's right. Not at all what the term slide canceling is referring to. It's referring to your tack sprint resetting and being able to tack sprint constantly.
Correct.
It's just outrageous. So all that context was there. The comments are just filled with that. If you can't slide cancel, just say it. Never once did we say we want it removed from Warzone right now. We're just saying Warzone 2, sure, if the movement's better, get it the fuck out of here. We don't want it. It's just something we do to get around faster because you're forced to.
Exactly. So first of all, implying that we can't slide cancel is hilarious. It's not hard to do. Everyone can slide cancel if they want to. Number one. Also, it's not like b-hopping, where if someone was like, oh, just say you can't b-hop, then it's like, okay, like that can be kind of hard. Slide canceling is not that. It's very
hopping
easy.
Is easier. What do you mean?
Depends on the gun you're using. Like an actual, like a good b-hop.
Okay.
But also, yeah, it's not that we don't want to be able to cancel a slide. We obviously mean the fact of slide canceling, resetting your tack sprint timer, forcing me to use it if I want to move optimally is annoying and dumb. So I still want to be able to cancel a slide or play out an entire slide. I just don't want it to be the case that if I cancel a slide, my tack sprint is now reset. That is the issue, not literally canceling a slide. And again, context was all there. It was very obvious that that's what we meant. No one understood that.
Yeah, there was for every 50 comments that were like, you just can't slide cancel, there was one person who understood it. There was one guy even that was like, it's so obvious what they're saying, and it went right over all of the commenters' head. Like, someone commented that and then followed us. I'm like, thank you. Yeah. And then I went to Twitter to prove it that Ted Timmons has said that slide canceling has never essentially been an intended feature. I remember early on in Warzone, actually, I'm pretty sure they did a fix to the slide canceling resetting tac sprint, and basically you had to do it a slightly different way because they tried to fix it and then just eventually didn't, and then it just became normal. He confirmed on Twitter that it's was never intended to reset tac sprint, and he doesn't want it in the game. And of course I also posted that on the TikTok as a comment. No one cares. It's like, okay, you guys just, just brain dead people on TikTok. The worst comment section in the world, yeah. The
worst comment section in the world. We will still be uploading the TikTok. Absolutely.
I just stopped reading the comments because my day was just filled with, like, how are people this dumb? And it's just blowing my mind. So every time I have notifications now, I just swipe to get rid of them, and I don't even look anymore. So I'm just like, you guys are just so dumb.
It's outrageous. So... So I hope you guys enjoyed our new segment that we're going to do as long as we keep doing TikToks. The dumbest TikTok comment of the day. There you go. We had a couple nominees. It's a special edition first unveiling, so we thought we'd give you a couple more than one. But it's going to be real stiff competition every single episode.
Yeah. That's tough.
It's going to be real stiff competition, dude. So strap in, and hope you guys enjoyed that. So next, also, you may notice. Do you have this sucker up, Tanner?
Yeah,
you do have this sucker up. We are starting a fundraiser for a new podcast overlay. Okay, now this overlay has served us very well. Made by friend of the pod, Call Me Al. It's great. It's a little outdated though, and we want something new and shiny and animated, sort of, like our gameplay overlay is, like our lobby screen overlay in particular. And there's some like information we don't want anymore on this overlay now. So we are going to start a fundraiser for a new podcast overlay. The gaming overlays we made were a lot. I don't remember how much. I could go look. We probably spent like $400 on it though.
Yeah.
Because we got a lot of shit. Like, and it's cool shit too, like dope transitions, all that. And we spent all that money on a really excellent quality overlay for our gameplay streams, which fewer people see, and we do less often than the podcast. We've been meaning to do this for a very long time now, and it's a tax write-off, which we want to take advantage of because we did not take advantage of tax write-offs enough last year. I know. So we are going to start a fundraiser for a new podcast overlay. The goal for for the month of June is 500 United States dollars. Now, let me be clear. Whether we get $500, $5,000, or $0, we're going to eventually make a new goddamn overlay. Okay. But if the fundraiser's met, we'll do it sooner. So if you guys wanted to help out, we would very much appreciate it. We are tracking the contributions to a new overlay. We need it. And we would be very grateful if you did that. You can donate anywhere. Go to thedropshot.com, press support, find a donate link on any of our websites, any of our social medias, and it's all the same shit. And you can contribute, and it would be going to this fund, and we would very much appreciate it. Figured maybe some of you guys would want to help out. So there you go. And I think I want to use the same guy we used for our game overlay because he did a fucking excellent job, dude. It's super clean.
I do think it was more than 400, by the way, because we split it, and I feel like we each paid like around 250 at least. So it was worth guessing for a nice animated thing and everything. Yeah, probably around like $500.
It's gonna probably cost more than that, but 500 is a nice even number.
So yeah, we're excited to get that going. But yeah, either way, we're gonna be doing it at some point. Definitely before MDub. Probably use maybe throwing the MDub kind of color scheme in there or something too. Use that green.
That'd be cool
as part of it. Yeah. We'll figure something out. But he did a really good job on everything else. So.
And one question on that topic that I'd like to ask of you guys is, do you think it would be better for the next overlay to have it be like the person talking has a bigger webcam than the person not talking? Or do you think we should just both always be the same size at the same time? What do you think is better? What would you prefer?
I know. most podcasts that I've seen on Twitch, everyone is the same size. But also,
Oh, yeah.
I haven't paid attention. They don't have as much stuff on their screen. They don't have like the cheers, the subs. I don't think they have a logo. And then also sometimes they won't even have a chat box. So, it's like, I think it'd be dope if we were just both the same size and we don't have to press a button every time. But it's like, we're used to doing that anyway. It's to changing the scene. But I don't know if we'd be able to do a chat box if we did it that way. Like, obviously something would have to go, or we just make both of them smaller than what the bigger one is now. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. But let us know what you guys prefer. I like the way we do it now, like the highlighted kind of thing we do. I think it's unique because, yeah, I don't see any other podcast do it. I kind of like it that way. But, I mean, maybe some of you guys think it's distracting or most of you probably don't give a shit. That's probably going to be for the majority of you. But if you have some feedback, let us know what you'd kind of like the overlay to be, how you'd like it to be laying out, or what you think would look good or whatever. We would appreciate that feedback. But yeah, that fundraiser will be going from now through the month of June. So there you go. Also, once again, reminder for the Damascus patrons, poker night, this Saturday. 6 p.m. Pacific time. First come, first serve. We have 10 seats. If you come late or if there are no seats available, you can still watch. So it'll still be fun, and people are going to be funneling in and out all the time. I think pretty much everyone who wants to play is going to be able to. We're not playing for real money. We're going to be betting fake money, but it's going to be Texas Hold'em. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm extremely excited. It's free, and you don't have to download anything either. Just a web browser. We're going to give you a link. You click it, you're done. You can probably do it on your phone too. So if you want to come to that, or if you don't even want to play poker, you want to just come shoot the shit, watch. It's going to be a good time. I'm really excited for this. Saturday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. And that leads to our last announcement. Our best announcement. What I'm most excited for. We have, that I don't think we've announced publicly in a podcast.
We did on Saturday.
On June 4th, Saturday, 12 p.m. Pacific time, normal podcast time on June 4th, Tanner and I will be joined by freelance writer, Call of Duty scene veteran, respected, renowned leaker and news correspondent and contributor, Thomas Henderson, friend of the podcast listener.
Let's go,
Demonetized.
dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go. Indeed. That's fine. I am extremely excited to have Tom on. It's going to be a great episode. We've started a list of things we want to talk to him about. Some of you have given us middling suggestions on what we should talk to him about. In Discord, we have a lot of exciting info to kind of get from him. Now, I will say now, we're not going to ask him for like exclusive leaks or anything. If he brings any, cool. He probably won't, and that's fine. There are a lot of interesting things to talk about besides that. And I'm extremely excited for this episode because Tom is one of, and I've said this many times before this episode was going to happen, which is why we asked him to be on. 3, 5 maybe leakers that I actually like respect the opinion of and put some stock into. And he's been doing this. We've been DMing a bit for like 10 years, which I didn't know. And we're going to learn a lot more about him. And the whole process and stuff. So June 4th, 12 p.m. Pacific time, be there live. It's going to be really exciting. It's going to be really hype. We are very happy to have him on. Mark your calendars. We will be posting a thing on Twitter, reminding everyone. It is in the events tab on Discord. We haven't had a guest in quite a while. It's going to be a big event, a big to-do. So make some time on that Saturday if you can to be here. It's going to be really fucking fun. How excited are you, Tanner?
Oh, I'm amped, dude. I'm very excited. We need to find that one infamous tweet he made about Battlefield 2042 and also give him a hard time about that, because I remember when we were all hyped for Battlefield and we were even making jokes saying, oh, we'll be a Battlefield podcast in a few months, and then he said Battlefield is going to be better than Call of Duty this year, and then the game launched and then people started making fun of him for that.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
I don't remember what his tweet said. We gotta find it. That was funny. But even he like ended up joking about it later. He's like, yeah, this was wrong, obviously. Yeah. But I'm very excited because you can learn. There's a lot you can learn from having a conversation and voice with someone for like 3 minutes rather than like reading an entire article. Because there's like questions when we read that article that he posted, we're like, well, what does this mean? Like, it's so easy to get clarification on certain things and go back and forth quickly and learn a lot in a short period of time having these talks with people. So I'm excited to chat with him.
Yeah, super excited. And I think our main focus is going to be how exactly does leaking shit work? Because I still don't know, really. Like, does he, like, have a mole? Like, how does he get information? How does he know if it's reputable? Like, I don't know anything about it.
And we don't know if he'll tell us that stuff either. I wouldn't really expect him to
and
either.
I mean, he'll be as candid as he wants to be. But he can definitely tell us some things because he wanted to be on. Like, we reached out to him initially and he was like,
it's like, fuck
I've been asked to be on like every single podcast. I'm going to like not do anything right now. And we were like, all right, well, it's all good. And then he was like, message me in a couple weeks though, and I might be down. And then we didn't message him back. And like a week later, he was like, all right, I'm down. Fuck it. Let's go. So he chose us over all the podcasts, which of course makes sense. Duh. We are the best and only option. So,
yeah, that's true.
So yeah, he wants to be on and he has information he wants to share. We're not blackmailing him to be on. So we will learn a lot from him. And like, you know, he's not going to tell us everything. He's not going to, I don't know, but we'll see. I don't know. Who knows? We haven't talked to him yet.
We may need to get a translator on though for the old bruv, since he's got that thick British accent.
British, yeah.
So we may have subtitles on YouTube for him because I know all of you dumb Americans listening won't be able to understand him, right? Because you guys are dumb.
Depends how north he is. Because if we're getting Scottish, then I'm gonna need a translator. Because that's going to be real tough to understand. But we'll figure it out. And it's going to be a good time. So, June 4th, 12 p.m. Pacific time. All right, let's get into this bitch. We got a thick episode. If you're listening for the jingle, here it is.
Ask him some of the dog shit Q&As you get. That'd be funny.
I'll ask him if he's ever tried human meat.
Yeah, maybe Cam can translate.
He suggested that in Discord.
First question.
That's question number 1. Yeah.
Is human meat illegal there, dude? You should ask him that. Is it illegal to eat human meat in the UK?
Yeah, that's a great question. Welcome, boys and girls, to Dropshot episode number 233. I think. A ton to talk about today. A lot of patch notes. We're going to dive right in, starting with Vanguard patch notes for Season 3 Reloaded.
Don't worry, we'll get through these real quick.
Yeah. So, there's a new map, Sphere. Cool.
I saw one tweet on Twitter that it was fun. That was all I saw. Oh, hold on. Oh, we got a whole little excerpt here for the new operators. You see this? Kim Young.
Oh, God.
Trained by her mother as a fighter. Donned a mask to conceal her identity while helping families cross the North Korean border to safety. Nice. Good for Kim. Shout out to Kim.
Wait. In the 40s? Okay. Sure. Before North Korea existed, but sure.
Wait, when did North Korea? When were they formed?
Pretty sure it was the 50s. I'm pretty sure
that's
North
hilarious.
Korea was a thing in the 50s. Yeah, pretty.
Let's
not
figure
positive,
this out.
But I'm pretty. The Korean War was definitely after World War II and before Vietnam. So I think it was just
Looks like
Korea.
it was formed in 48.
Oh, okay. Still a number of years before the setting of the Vanguard game, which is very interesting. Very cool, man.
48, yeah. That's yikes. Yeah.
Very cool.
Nice.
So there was no North Korean border. It didn't exist yet. But Kim Tae-young was helping people cross an imaginary border because what they didn't write in her biography is that in addition to being altruistic, she also saw the future, which is very cool. So she said, hey, Kim Il-sung, or whoever it was originally, is about to get real nasty. You guys should get out of here before it gets weird and cross this imaginary line that doesn't exist yet. Very cool, man. I mean, what are we doing? Basic history. I could be wrong on some of this, but I don't think I am. I don't know if there was a North Korean border. I don't think there was a North Korea before World War II.
Well, no, but
I don't think so.
Because I know Vanguard kind of takes place in like a weird time. Like, what is it considered? Oh, I guess they consider it take place like 1945. Okay. Is it? Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's like 1945. It also, she earned a reputation amongst the Korean people as a local folk hero and keeper of justice. No, a little girl in the 40s would have probably just been killed, if anything. Believe me, she wasn't a local folk hero. They would have rather probably stoned her to death in those years, but nice, man. Cross that border. Fuck you.
Yeah, whatever. So we got a new operator, cool. If anyone's a historian, please tell me if this makes any sense. If there was a North Korean border. I don't know enough. Someone in chat is saying like unofficially by the USSR in 1945, which would still be after the war, I think. I don't know. I don't care, but whatever. Cool. Let's shoehorn in like cool people to be operators. That's fine. Weapons, new weapon. The H4 Blixen submachine gun. This hard-hitting SMG offers mobility and accuracy in medium-range engagements. Okay. And the unlock challenge is to get 3 slide kills in a single match 15 times, which is going to take you 3 hours. Cool. Cool, and got it. This is a Vanguard weapon, so you could do it in Vanguard or Warzone, or maybe probably in MW as well. It worked that way at least for unlocking the Armaguerra, I believe. And it probably also still works now, honestly. But it's still, you can get 3 slide kills. If it works the same way, then you can play, shoot the ship, get 3 slide kills, back out, and then do it again, and it'll track. You just won't see it tracking unless you open Warzone and look. That would be probably, if that works, that's the fastest way to unlock it. But that's how you unlock it. I haven't seen this gun yet. I played this morning for like an hour and a half, but no one has it yet. Not that I've seen. There is ground loot in Warzone of this gun, and the ground loot is all burst fire. The gray variant is a burst fire. So
you guys
SMG.
confirmed that, so Jake wasn't crazy.
No, you're correct, yeah. The gray variant is burst fire. The green variant is burst fire. That's all I saw.
Is it bugged, maybe?
No, it says in the name, like before you pick it up, it says like Blixen burst toggle submachine gun. So it's intended. It's in the name.
So is the gun burst by default?
I suspect it's burst by default, and you can maybe get a full auto barrel.
Well, I know it's full auto
or something.
I saw a Metaphor using it. He, of course, already has it level 50 somehow, and it was fully auto. Interesting.
So if this were like a Cold War gun that was by default burst, but you could put on a barrel to make it full auto. There is a Cold War gun like that. I don't remember what it's called, but that gun is by default dog shit because now I'm forced to throw out an attachment because I have to use it full auto. So now my gun only has 4 attachments. There's probably better options. But in Vanguard, you can use all 10 attachments anyway, so it might still be good. I have no idea, though.
It's not default burst, it's one of the barrels. Why would they make all the ground loot the burst variant then? Oh my god,
just a great question. Just a fantastic question. Yeah, I have no idea.
Yikes.
Have you heard anything about this? You were
No.
watching Metaphor
I
use
just
it?
saw he was playing Clash, leveling it up, and I was just like, the update came out 2 hours ago. How does he have the gun unlocked and level 55? It's insane. But anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
no.
we'll keep you guys posted on the quality of this gun, but it's in. And it's for Vanguard and Warzone. They're still fixing camo challenges.
I was about to say that. It's still on the STG too. I probably still can't get my STG gold in Vanguard. I swear to God. I couldn't for the first 3 months at least. Mind blowing.
Challenges
I
for the
think
Deadeye camo are now properly tracked.
At this point, I really think it wasn't even Sledgehammer that developed Vanguard. I think another dev team did like all the work, and then they're like, all right, here you go. With your work's done, you guys can just update the game and keep it patched. Because they can't. I just don't get it, man. Crazy.
Yeah. So cool. Some bug fixes. This is important. This will probably be important for the CDL kids too. Stun grenades do 5 damage instead of 25 damage. This should have been a day one patch. This is obviously what should be the case. Took them till season 3 reloaded, but we got it, so that's good. Stuns should never have done a quarter of your health. Duh.
Especially in hardcore, you can just run around with only stuns and kill people.
Insane.
You get people. I probably have 200 plus stun grenade kills in Vanguard. I swear to God. You get someone
Literally,
damaged,
you
you
get them
throw a
all the
stun and you
time.
kill them. It's even hitting them with the stun. I'm pretty sure when it physically bounces off of them, as soon as it hits, that also does the 25. Because I've gotten kills where as soon as it hits them, they're just dead. That's day 0 stuff. Actually, that's like alpha shit.
Yeah. So cool, but it's fixed. Whatever. Okay. What else here? Oh
Perks,
wow!
that's when it gets
Overkill.
interesting.
Overkill was moved from slot 3 to slot 1. The perk. Huh. I don't play Vanguard enough to know how that's going to change the meta, but I remember taking Overkill. You didn't sacrifice a lot? Or did you?
Well, it was lightweight, so we never... My thing is...
That's right.
I don't know why you would ever use Overkill in multiplayer, honestly. I've never understood that at all. Saw some people talking about this on the TL. I don't get... Why use Overkill in multiplayer? It's never made sense.
Because everyone else is using a riot shield, I'm forced to. That's why I do it. Because if I can't shoot anyone else in the back, I might as well not get shot in the back either. So now it's slot 1, which I think is which is the blue perks. So it's like Serpentine, whatever. Cold-blooded in Warzone.
Dauntless.
Survival
training, fortified.
Right. So it's in a more competitive perk slot now, which is probably good because now fewer people will be running the overshield cheese dog shit. So that's a good change. I'm on board with that. Because perk 3 slot, besides lightweight, everything else is like not that good. So there you go. Let's see. Piercing vision, increased amount of suppression required to highlight targets. This is good. It was too easy to get a highlight for that. Decreased visibility of highlighted targets. I don't know what that means.
Probably just not as bright anymore, their outline or something.
What does that matter? I'm either going to see it or I won't. This is kind of silly. So, I don't know what that means. Piercing vision's probably still pretty good, though. Let's see. Survival training, which is like tac mask, moved from slot 1 to slot 3. Oh, okay. So they just swapped the positions of overkill and survival training. And then ninja also moved from slot 1 to slot 3. Huh. So some perk rebalancing there.
Now you can run ghost and ninja, which is cringe. But so now ninja goes up against like lightweight,
which is probably worth it if you're like playing competitively.
Yeah, I know. Did I favorite the tweet? I saw someone from the
Maybe.
CDL complaining about this change. I don't know enough about it. to care, but I think they said,
yeah.
I don't know. I thought they didn't like it. I can't find it now.
If you're in the CDL, changing around where perks are is like really, really a lot. That's a really big deal. So like, I like it. I mean, I like the idea of changing around where perks are. I just don't play Vanguard enough to say if these are good or bad changes. I don't really know, to be honest with you. But it's a lot for the CDL. If I was in the CDL, I'd be mad too.
Well, I think it's
because you're practicing with this specific field upgrade because this is specifically the perk meta, and like now it's all fucked, and you probably have an event tonight. So
I think
like no,
that's
everyone's
what it
confused.
was.
Of course, there's an event.
I think
tonight,
there was
like
an
where you change
event
the islands
literally
are on the
starting.
MP5.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Whatever. Let's see.
I think that's honestly it.
Yeah, some more ranked play restrictions, some other things I'm not going to talk about. And that's it.
Just know that they have given up on this game, which is fine with me. Like this is a mid-season update. Look at everything we got for Warzone that we'll get into in a second. Look at what Vanguard gave us. I mean, not a goddamn thing. Yeah. So they've officially thrown in the towel. Which I said to do 3 months ago. Yeah, I said just stop, please. Don't even give us anything.
By the way, they made zombies changes, which I'm on principle not going to read. But if I were to read them, it would take me 10 seconds. It's less than a page. There are very few zombies game mode changes, which they made a whole to-do about how they were going to make zombies better. Not yet.
What are the Zabalas in zombies, actually? Hold on. Which things are those?
It's the thing that is immune that you're thinking
of.
Oh,
fuck that. Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's the challenge for the new SMG to unlock, and that is kill 50 of those. Never mind.
Oh.
That's outrageous. That'll take 4 days. Okay, yeah, never mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's the Vanguard update.
Cool. And that's it. Awesome. Yeah, I have nothing else to say on Vanguard, so let's move on.
Maybe we should stop covering Vanguard too, honestly.
Well, okay, got it. All right, so now on to Warzone, excuse me. Season 3 Reloaded patch notes. Here's where things get interesting, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of big changes. Tanner and I did play this morning. We can speak a little bit to how some of these things feel and whether or not they are true. And let's jump in. First of all, we got a playlist update. And we now have the playlists for the weeks of now through the week of June 20th to the 22nd. So that's a lot. I'm not going to read all of them, but for now, we have regular BR, all modes, Resurgence quads, Clash 50v50, Rebirth Island Resurgence, all modes, including solos. So you Rebirth lovers should like that. Next week, we're getting Champion of Caldera, which is a solos, which is a new playlist, which we're going to cover in a bit, and then some other changes. And then Champion of Caldera is going to stay for a while. On the week of June 16th, we are going to get Blood Money quads, which is plunder, and payload solos. And I thought I read buybacks for some reason, which is why I bothered reading any of that. So cool, never mind. And that's all on Rebirth Island, so I don't care. And then June 20th through 22nd, we're getting 2 redacted, classified Rebirth Island playlists. Or 1, actually. Just 1 redacted, classified Rebirth Island playlist. The reason for that being redacted is interesting to me. Because I think that might mean more than just a new game mode we've never seen before. It might try to tie in some lore or some map changes or some new features getting added to the island, or maybe it's going to tie into some kind of announcement for MW2 or something.
Well, it's definitely just some sort of an event, yeah. Maybe because it's also only for 3 days. June 20th to the 22nd.
That really makes me think it's some
That's
kind of
weird.
like,
Also,
weird
it's
event.
Monday to Wednesday.
Yeah.
So the 22nd also, that must be when season 4 comes out, I would imagine. That's probably why it ends that date. It's probably some little event that's going to lead up to something in season 4. Maybe that's some sort of like reveal, like gameplay reveal for MW, because I think a lot of the rumors are now this first reveal we're getting early June is actually going to be more like a campaign reveal or some shit.
That would make, yeah, probably.
So yeah, this could be something Warzone 2, MW2 related.
Yeah. That or season 4. Yeah, I think you're onto something there as well. So we'll keep you guys posted on that, but let's move on. That's the playlist updates. Now on to Champion of Caldera. So this is solos only, and I'm going to read at least some of this. This year could arguably be a strong one for Warzone solo players, with Rebirth Resurgence solos being a fast-paced variant of the traditional BR, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Solo players will get another high-intensity LTM and, as the name suggests, fight to become the champion of Caldera. This mode will feature 150 maximum players in a single, continuously closing circle in a BR-style fight for survival. That's an interesting idea. I kind of like that idea. It's fresh, it's new, and it's not super crazy or super gimmicky either, but it's definitely different. All operators will drop in with their custom loadout, a gas mask, and a single redeploy extraction token, which we'll get into. The item pool is slightly altered to emphasize equipment not normally found in loadouts and rare weapons. So I would expect to see a lot of gas masks, a lot of other field upgrades and shit. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Collect cash to visit an upgraded buy station, which features the advanced UAV and specialist bonus for a hefty fee. Most notably, kills in this game mode immediately refill player health, equipment, and ammunition, incentivizing would-be champions to play aggressively and eliminate the competition directly to have the best chance at victory. That's nuts, and I wonder if that includes your current magazine or not. Like when you're playing zombies and your teammate gets max ammo, right? It refills your current mag. So not just your reserve ammo, but your current magazine also goes up to capacity as well. That's going to maybe make, in certain cases, it will make a very big difference in how you play this. Because if I'm really good and I see two people and I'm using an AS Val, for example, if I know my mag's going to get refilled if I fool this guy, I'm going to play it very differently than if I know my mag's not going to get refilled when I kill this guy. But besides that, what are your thoughts on this mode, Tanner? Does that sound fun to you?
It sounds fun, yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, I'm not going to play solos probably, like ever.
Oh, yeah.
It is a really good idea, though, and it sounds like something fun and exciting and fresh for people that do play solos, rather than the typical very slow-paced solo gameplay that you see. People sitting in buildings, people sitting in bushes. This will be the exact opposite of that. This will be a fun game mode, I think, to watch some really good players play. Some of like the really sweaty players, I think that'd be exciting to watch them
like
play
Huskers
this.
Or Symphony,
maybe not so much me play, but it'd be exciting
Aiden.
to watch them for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great content creator playlist. 100%.
Yeah. So I think it's a cool idea. The only thing that saddens me is since we get another LTM now, then we're now going another month without seeing buybacks or iron trials again. So that really fucking sucks.
Yeah. And F's in the chat for those modes. So let me say this, by the way. This is how you should do an LTM or event that people will care about, because it's not super gimmicky and dumb. like the Monarch Scream device, for example, you're not adding in a bunch of NPCs that lower everyone's frames. You're not adding storm clouds. You're adding things that actually change how the game is played, but it's not like gimmicky. This is a cool idea. This is a good idea for an LTM. And if Raven, God willing, if you're listening, okay, the next time you want to do a big story event, when you buy the IP to some other insanely popular, albeit very old franchise, such as the Terminator, make that Terminator event less gimmicky and more just different in the way you did this. That would be much better. This is cool. I'm excited to watch this because, like Tanner, I of course am never going to play this. Solos are for losers and streamers. So who are also kind of losers, right?
Jesus,
so
man.
This is going to be fun to watch. This is an LTM well done, and I'm sad that I won't get to enjoy it. I would like Champions of Caldera, Championship Team of Caldera.
Yeah.
Championship Teamwork, Let's Hold Hands of Caldera. That'd be fun. I'd play that.
Old cocks.
But yeah, this is a good mode, and I'm very excited for that. Let's see. Okay. Now, next. On to gameplay. Should I read this? Let's see. Yeah, okay. So they've written a little blurb here. Before we jump into the many changes outlined below, we want to share the key pillars that we focused on for the Season 3 Reloaded update. We believe this will help players understand the design intentions behind all of the changes and how they add up to cohesively improve the core Warzone gameplay loop over the season ahead. I like when they do this because sometimes what they say they want to do and then the changes they implement actually match up and make sense. And oftentimes they don't. So sometimes they'll say like, oh, we want to increase the time to kill. And then every weapon change will be like insane and making things even easier to control and more busted and faster effective TTKs. So I like when they do this so that we can see, okay, based on your stated intentions, are these changes actually going to contribute to what you want to do? So let's look at it. Let's find out. More counters is bullet point number 1. There are still some very powerful mechanics in Warzone, and we need to provide counterplay measures to each gameplay loop for more interesting engagements. Okay?
Told us nothing.
I like the sound of that. Let's see what they mean, though, right? Yeah. Let's see what changes they've actually made. More movement. Yeah, I really like the sound of that. Did they increase the movement buff of stims?
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out because they said more movement, right? Player rotation opportunities are core to the Warzone experience, and we see how much our players love advanced movement techniques. Oh, that's great. Sounds like stims are going to get more.
You can slide further with stims now, right?
And stim sliding is the advanced movement technique. So I'm very excited to see how they are going to take this design intention and implement an actual change to this end. So let me start over. Player rotation opportunities are core to the Warzone experience, and we see how much our players love advanced movement techniques. So we have expanded this into new avenues. Let's find out if that's true. Let's find out. So cool. Next, more playtime. Okay. This is funny. Simply put, more time playing, less time spectating. Warzone has always been a leader in second chance mechanics, and we wanted to further develop this aspect of Warzone to improve the chances of a successful mid to late game regain. And I like that. So every intention stated here, I like all of the intentions. What about you? Do you think these are all good things that they should seek to do, Tanner?
Oh yeah, for sure. I still don't understand the first one exactly, the more counters.
So like if you're running Combat Scout, they added the counter of Cold-Blooded, for example.
Got it. Okay.
And if you're running Heartbeat Sensor, they added the counter of Ghost.
Okay. Well, I don't know what they did in this update that goes along with them saying
question.
that. I guess we'll get into it, but I haven't seen anything. But yeah, anyways, I mean, yeah, all these sound good on paper. I said a few weeks ago I don't care what they say anymore, and I'll judge by what they actually do. So, I mean, they sound good. Yeah, sure. I do like the last one the most, though, is more time playing. Yeah, because, yeah, I mean, Warzone, they said Warzone has always been a leader in second chance mechanics. Well, now we got third, fourth, and fifth chance mechanics for sure. Maybe even sixth chance mechanics. Yeah. Actually, why don't we just design a BR where you can't ever die and everyone wins? That's what we should do at this rate.
Everyone holds hands in a circle, sings Kumbaya as a fleet of helicopters come to pick everyone up, and you all get Warzone victory. Yeah.
Oh man, that would be fun.
That's in Warzone 2. That's in Warzone 2. So just
there's no losing in Warzone 2, guys. Only winning.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. And then they wrote some more. So, okay. Counterplay. So I guess this new perk is what they mean by a counter.
Oh, moving is countering. Okay.
That's fair because it's true, but we'll get into it. So the new perk is called Serpentine. This is a Vanguard perk. Reduces incoming damage by 20% if the player is sprinting. Now, unless there is something that they are not talking about here, this means all damage you take is just multiplied by 0.8 if you're sprinting. We are bringing in this new perk from Vanguard that some of our players may already be familiar with. Our internal playtests, they don't do that. So they're lying here. Highlighted the counter to ranged engagements, especially in large open spaces, while still beneficial in smaller spaces. Serpentine creates a buffer between finding cover, and it provides a boon to players that rotate often in their engagements. The attacking player receives clear feedback that their target countered their incoming shots with the Serpentine icon being displayed. So another thing Serpentine counters is sniper rifles. And this is what I predicted, Tanner and I both did before. We put it on TikTok. Once Serpentine gets added, and if you're sprinting, you no longer die to any sniper with a one-shot headshot, then no one will ever snipe again. So does this serve the end of adding more counterplay to Warzone? Yes, it does, because Serpentine counters snipers. Is that a good thing? Well, don't snipe anymore, anyone.
Yeah.
Sniper F's in the chat for snipers. They are done. They were barely usable before. Now they are not worth using ever. I just don't believe on this map you should ever snipe. And if you can snipe and do well, that's great, and I'm happy for you. You would be doing even better with an AR.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. So F's in the chat for snipers. Cool. There goes that weapon class. Let's add a perk that counters shotgun damage or something. Well, we'll get into that.
Well,
and I feel ambivalent about that one. But anyways, what are your thoughts on this perk, Tanner? Serpentine reduces all incoming damage by 20% if the player is sprinting.
I think snipers are still going to be viable pretty much in solos, strictly in solos. Because you got to think people in solos, as I was just saying, they don't move. So you're still going to get plenty of targets of people standing on a hill, or you're going to be a little bush Wookiee and sneak up behind someone else who's sitting in a bush watching another area with their sniper, and they're not going to be moving. So there's going to be a lot of instances, but especially in like larger game modes, trios and quads, you don't usually run into people sitting still, and so this is going to make that worse. But will people realize how good Serpentine is? I don't know. Again, this is one of those things where it's like they add it to the game. Not a lot of people played Vanguard, and the Serpentine wasn't in Vanguard on launch either, right? It wasn't. Wasn't it added later, or they changed some? No, it was added later, I think.
I don't remember. Maybe.
So that means even less people know what it is, because at that point, no one was playing Vanguard.
90% of the players had already uninstalled.
Yeah, so it's going to be one of those things where people don't even realize how good it could be, I feel, and they just won't think of running. I mean, yeah, I only played 2 games this morning. I never shot anyone using Serpentine. Did you?
Same. I played like 4, and I didn't see the icon once, no.
Yeah, and so...
But Jake did see the icon, so the icon does work.
I saw
no one had Serpentine.
Yeah, and I saw in one of my kill cams when I got killed to someone and I was sprinting away from them, it did give them the icon. So that is working correctly. So I think, personally, on Caldera, there's probably no better perk right now, I would imagine. However, if every single time I get shot, people are still running Combat Scout, then you may be forced to go back to Cold-Blooded again. You know, unless Combat Scout gets a nerf, which I've been saying I do think it needs a nerf at this point, then yeah, it'll be rough. Because I know everyone I was shooting today, like no one had Cold-Blooded on, but also I wasn't getting the Serpentine icon, so I don't know what people are running on Cold. I mean, these people running EOD or what? I'm not sure what was going on, but if that happens a lot, I would rather lose the damage taken and just drop Serpentine and run Cold-Blooded, so I'm not constantly marked by Combat Scout and wall beamed. I mean, when I played duos with Jake, I'd swear I think I like 13 kills. I think 4 of those were literally me wall banging because they were in little straw shacks and I just kept shooting them through the wall until I downed them. So unless that gets nerfed, then I don't know. Maybe Serpentine won't be that good, but Cold-Blooded, Serpentine, definitely I think the top 2 perks right now.
Easily.
For Caldera, for Caldera. Rebirth, different story. Rebirth, Cold-Blooded is a waste. And we talked about that in our brainstorm.
Yes, we did. Patreon.com/Dropshot, the best way to support the show. Yeah, so I'll take those in reverse order. For Rebirth Island, I still think Quick Fix is better than Serpentine. I don't think Serpentine's worth it on Rebirth. It's probably pretty good on Rebirth. It's probably better than every other blue perk besides Quick Fix on Rebirth. But I don't think it's better than Quick Fix on Rebirth. With how many like plates, downs, and thirsts you're going to get. But on Caldera, yeah, this or Cold-Blooded, boy, tough. Tough to say. I will say this. I was running Serpentine, and I'm pretty sure there were at least 2 or 3 times where I was getting shot, and I was running to cover, and I got there, and I'm pretty sure without Serpentine, I was dead. I'm almost positive it works and that it's noticeable. And that's fairly noticeable. So I need to play more, we both do, to get back to you on this. And how noticeable and how often does it save you to make it worth being better than Cold-Blooded or not? I don't know yet. But it's pretty noticeable far away. Especially if you're far enough away to where people are missing a lot of shots. So I can imagine a scenario where there are 2 people 90 meters away on a hill shooting down at me. That's 2 guns, but they're going to both be missing a fair number of shots. And I'm trying to sprint to a rock. Serpentine, if it saves me 1 or 2 bullets to kill, with a 20% damage reduction, it probably always is at least 1 extra bullet to kill if you're sprinting from any AR at that distance. That's going to give you, with how many shots they're missing, a lot of extra time to get to cover. And I do feel like I noticed it today. Again, I'm going to test it more, but it's a solid perk. The fact that it counters snipers, I don't even care about that because people don't snipe anymore. I didn't get sniped at once today. I didn't play that many games, but I haven't gotten sniped at in quite a while since the changes to sniping happened. So I don't even care about that. But this for ARs, against ARs, is really good. I'll also add, I tried a couple Vanguard SMG gung-ho setups because I can't jack kids off anymore. F's in the chat for the Jack 12. We'll get into it. And it's terribly sad. I'm heartbroken by that, but we'll get into it. I tried the Type 100, which does have Gung Ho. It's a Vanguard SMG. Not all Vanguard SMGs have the Gung Ho weapon perk, but the Type 100 does, and it's unusable.
Yeah.
It is not a hip fire gun, so I immediately got rid of that. And then I set up a well gun, which also has Gung Ho, and it has a lot of hip fire attachments, more than the Type 100 has. And the hip fire spread is very noticeably better. And it has Gung Ho once again, and a 64 round mag, which is pretty good. It's a lot of ammo because you're going to be missing some bullets with hip firing. And I did it to 2 or 3 people in a building today. The first guy ran into the building. I fucking gung ho sprinted down the stairs with the well gun, started shooting him, and I had serpentine. So when he was shooting me back, he was doing 20% less damage. Pretty good. Then he ran away, getting pissed on. I had him one shot. He got out of the building. His friend pushed me. I went back inside, played it up. There was a whole thing. I survived, and I won. And lag was helping, but I like
Lag
fully
didn't
killed
help.
2 of them. So that needs more testing as well. And the downside of running Gung Ho with an SMG and trying to use this serpentine plus Gung Ho cheese strategy, because Gung Ho allows you to sprint while shooting. So you're getting the sprint damage reduction and you're able to shoot your gun at the same time. That's the cheese that I'm talking about, that I was trying. Needs more testing. But one of the things that's annoying is if you're using Gung Ho, or if you're not, this is always the case. Let's say I'm sprinting and I'm using Gung Ho and firing all at the same time. And let's say I slide. When you slide, your character stops shooting, even though you were shooting while sprinting before the slide, for a number of seconds, milliseconds, before he starts shooting again. And you will start shooting again during the slide, but there is that gap where you just stop shooting. So if you're going to do this cheese strategy, either slide first or don't slide at all and just sprint instead. It's very hard to get used to because with a hip fire build especially, the strat was always to slide into it. It's the advantage of a hip fire build.
Yeah.
But it's weird. It takes some getting used to. And I don't know if this is good at all yet. But it felt pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like the hip fire spread's a lot worse than we thought it was going to be with Gung Ho on these SMGs. So I don't know if that's going to work. But my last thing to say about Serpentine that I'd thought of is I feel like people are going to write it off to start with because everyone is used to popping stims and healing for 15 seconds through 800 bullets while sprinting through stims. So now stims have been absolutely completely gutted, unusable. We'll get into it. And so now Serpentine is doing what stims were doing, but to a less extent. And so now everyone's just going to say, oh, stims are trash. But it's like, no, it's just you're used to surviving way too long because of the way stims were, and now they're nerfed. So Serpentine's really good. It's just you're not going to notice it as much because you've been so used to the stims being that broken
literally
for a long
full
time.
healing you through getting shot.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a good point too. And that's something to keep in mind for sure. So next, there are new lootable perks. Serpentine's one of them. You can now also pick up, in addition to everything that used to be on the ground, tune-up, tracker. So tune-up, I believe, is like faster revive speed. This doesn't matter. Tracker, which is the worst perk in the game. This absolutely doesn't matter. Hardline, I don't even know what this does in Warzone.
I forgot what Hardline does. Does it less money for streaks?
I think that's Point Man, isn't it? Or maybe it is less money for streaks, and Point Man is you get more money for contracts. I think that is what it is, yeah. I think Hardline is like a buy station discount.
25% off kiosk prices for kill
there you go.
streaks.
Oh, for kill streaks only?
Kill streaks, field upgrades, and armor plates.
Okay.
So it's like
So this
whatever.
doesn't
If
really-
it's something you
it's
would
fine.
pick, but if you find it, that's dope. Slight discount on items.
I'll pick it up. That's fine, yeah. Kill chain. This makes me furious because kill chain increases the chances you loot streaks from boxes. More streak spam. Not good. Don't like this. Make people take kill chain if they want it. I don't like that that's lootable. There's going to be more streak spam. Maybe. Perks don't drop that often, so it's probably not that big of a deal, but I don't like that they added that. And EOD is also now lootable, which is cool, I guess. I'll pick it up. I'll pick them all up.
Did you end up seeing any perks today?
Not one. No. I got Serpentine once. So I'm pretty sure based on our small amount of playtime this morning, they drastically reduced the spawn rate of perks.
I think one of the games, like when we were playing quads, I think Jake found one streak maybe, but it's like that point in the game, the way it was before this update, like we would have all had 2 or 3 perks. So I think they've been nerfed, which if they're going to do that, I mean, put that in the patch notes, please. It'd be nice to know, but it certainly seems so far that they've drastically reduced the spawn rate of those, which I'm totally fine with. Especially now if there's so many more of them in, I'm good with that, yeah.
And one other consideration to make about Serpentine being lootable is maybe you should be making a cold-blooded class even if you intend on running Serpentine in case you pick it up, in the same way that you have a high alert class in case you loot restock on the ground. Annoying. Not sure I'm going to bother, because now this is a lot of permutations of loadouts.
Oh, it's outrageous, yeah.
And I've only got 10 slots, so I don't know if I'm going to do it, but it might be worth doing. So something to think about. Which is really annoying, by the way. Because if I really wanted to, like, optimize this, I would probably need to use all 10 slots based on, like, well, I guess it's fine if you just need your basic, because I was going to say sniping, but I'm not sniping anymore. So that freed up a lot of slots for me. So maybe not. I don't know. It's weird, but just something for you guys to think about. But there you go. All right. Next, new field upgrade, the radar jammer. So you can pick this up. You put this down and in a fairly small circle around you. Think as big of a circle as the radar sweep you get from a stationary static UAV on Rebirth Island. That size circle, when you put down the radar jammer, is how much area, if people are in it, their minimap is scrambled, sort of. It's not that scrambled. It is absolutely not like a counter UAV where you can't see anything. You can still see, it's just like fucked up. So like if there are red dots and you're radar jammed, you'll still know there are red dots on your minimap. You just won't know where. So it's fine. It's a field upgrade. I don't care. This matters very little. And the effect lasts for 45 seconds. Oh, effective radius of 125 meters. There you go.
True. It is not nearly that big at all. There's no way it's 125 meters. Not even close. It's more like 25, I swear. Did you put one down?
Yeah, it's 125. It's about that. 100%. Because when you put it down,
I don't think so at all.
When you put it down, you get a blue circle on your minimap. And it can take up like more than your whole minimap if you're like on it. It's about 125 meters. Maybe
I
not,
put one down and it
sure.
covered the building I was in Capitol. That's what the blue circle showed. Because I even told Jake, I was like, oh, this doesn't cover anything. He's like, oh yeah, that is really small. Huh. I mean, it was not even close to 125 meter radius. Not even fucking close.
That's weird.
Taking up your whole mini-map? What? Yours almost took up your whole mini-map? When you did you put it down?
No.
Maybe something's bugged with the visual then. Because when I put it down, it was, I mean, a tenth of my mini-map.
Could be like a UI thing, yeah. Because I'll also say, we landed Arsenal, and someone, I can't describe the buildings well enough, but okay, you know where the balloon is at Arsenal?
Yeah.
Okay, now go west to that building, the central building everyone camps, where the helicopter spawns and shit. Yes, okay, so we were on the tower building. They were on that building. They put down a radar jammer. I'm pretty sure that's where they were. And we got scrambled.
Interesting. So there must be something to do with the UI then. Maybe when you place it, it's bugged. Because, yeah, it was not big at all. Okay.
Yeah. So either way, this doesn't really matter. It's a dumb.
Well, that's pretty
field
good
upgrade.
then, because I was going to say it's useless from the size that I saw, but that makes it pretty good. Well, because the interesting thing here is prevent airborne kill streaks from being used in a localized area. So if you're late game and you have that, that's actually really, really, really good. If it's actually a radius of 125 meters, that's massive. If you can prevent people from calling in streaks, that's fucking huge. And I found 3 of these in the 2 games I played. So that could actually be very, very good once we get more details on how big it actually is.
Yeah, that's a good question. I didn't read that yet. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. So here's my question now. Let's say I'm at factory and I want to precision you at Arsenal on that rooftop from 700 meters away. But you on the rooftop at Arsenal have a radar jammer down. Does that mean I can call a streak on you since I'm not in the radius? Or does it mean people in the radius can't call any kill streaks?
I think I take it as someone outside the radius can't call an airstrike in that area, and it'll probably say like
airspace
full or something.
That's interesting. Yeah, I'm curious.
That's really
what it means.
Good, actually.
Yeah, that could be good.
Huh.
Yeah, that's okay. That's something. It's a field upgrade worth using, and it counters streaks. I think this is fun. And the effect lasts for 45 seconds. It's not that long, but that's pretty long also. Yeah. So it's like, this is good.
I don't think it'll have much of a use except for when you get to late game or if you're a building camper, if you have that play style. If you're if you're W King pushing everything, this isn't going to do much for you. But if you're someone who plays like Iron, OP Mark that plays for wins and plays slow and holds like buildings, this I think can be very big for people like that. If they start getting pushed and they're in like a pretty decent sized building and capital, throw one of those suckers down. It can give you good mobility to move around. They may not know where you're going and whatnot. Really screw people up. So it could be good in that situation. But for like the way we try to play the game, I wouldn't benefit it much. It wouldn't benefit us much except for very late game.
I agree. I agree. I can imagine a situation where Iron and his squad are like on that roof of Arsenal and it's fairly late game and they're waiting for the next circle, or like they're waiting for the gas to start moving and they know a team has to cross the open to get to them. Wait right before the gas starts moving, put down the jammer, because you know that if they have a streak, this is when they're going to call it in to force you off the roof, and you deny it. So now they have to sit there for 45 seconds and either eat gas or cross without streaking you first. That would be like a neat thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a use case. That would be good. So yeah, this is interesting. It's at least useful sometimes, unlike the portable decontamination station, which is useless.
Yeah.
Always. So this is cool. I like it. But it's not like insane or anything. Next. Lootable loadout drop markers. Ground loot now includes a rare chance to spawn a Lodi, the drop marker. So keep your eyes on smoke grenades that have red smoke coming out of them on the ground. That means it's a loadout drop marker, and you should probably pick it up. It's probably pretty good. It's probably the best possible thing you can loot in the game. So pick that up.
Yeah, actually.
I like this, honestly. I think this is cool. I don't think there's anything wrong with this.
No, I like it.
It's better than a specialist token. Because you're just like, this would be really nice to find, like, if you just bought your teammates back and you guys are poor, and then it's like, oh, fuck, I found a Lodi, let's go. I like it. Cool. And it's rare. I like this. This is dope. All right, next, movement. Okay. High value loot zones. Is this in yet? I don't recall.
I was about to ask you that. So is it random? Does it only happen some games? It was not in when I was playing.
I didn't notice.
So it is now available in Battle Royale game modes. We expect this to be a popular feature both for promoting early engagement opportunities as well as late game restock opportunities. It must be bugged. I didn't see it.
We'll read the whole thing here. So in Caldera modes, high value loot zones are added. These zones are represented on the map by a very appropriate $sign and will provide, not a pound sign, Kekona, USA #1, back-to-back World War champions, and will provide the best looting opportunities. We've enjoyed seeing how the addition of this new system has pulled players into landing at POIs they otherwise wouldn't have planned to land. So it is now available in BR game modes. We expect this to be a popular feature both for promoting early engagement opportunities as well as late game restock opportunities. So again, as Tanner and I have said, I don't recall seeing this. It might not actually be in the game yet, or the icon is simply not noticeable enough. I don't know. However, in theory, I like this idea a lot.
Yeah.
And I will also add, I hope that these are never at peak, factory, or like capital.
Oh, it'll be at peak.
Because these are already high value loot zones. So you should be putting these at things like runway, where no one will go unless there's a reason to do it. Here's the best place. Here's where it should always be 100% of the time. Dig site. Because then there's a reason to go there, maybe. That might make it have as much loot as every other POI when it's not a high value loot zone. Maybe. Ruins. A couple of good options. That would be cool if they weighted it more toward the dog shit POIs no one goes to. I don't know if they'll do that. It is within their capabilities. They do it for circles, polls. Thanks, Caldera. And I hope there's something in these notes about that, but they're probably isn't. But I like the idea of a high value loot zone. I think it's great. And I think everything they said about it in theory will be true in practice if they add it to the game. What do you think?
Yeah, we were excited about this when we first heard this when season 3 came out. I think they teased it. So yeah, I like this a lot. It should be very noticeable. Maybe there's UI bugs right now. Since they revamped the UI, I would not be surprised if we're getting weird bugs like the size of the radar jammer, high value loot zone not showing up on the map or something. Because yeah, it's in like Clash and whatnot, it is extremely noticeable. You shouldn't even have to zoom into the mini map at all to see it. And so I never once saw it. Even when you zoomed in, I never saw them anywhere. So yeah, I'm not sure if they're actually in or not. I haven't seen anyone talk about that. If anyone in chat has seen them, let us know. But this is a really good idea, and I'm excited for this.
Yeah. Now, on to another fun and exciting development. New underground transit system, again for Caldera. New fast travel system with 14 access points indicated on the TAC map and minimap by a silver vault door symbol. This is in the game. I saw them, and we use them. They work. Lighting system will provide intel and help navigate player decisions. So here's the lighting system because they don't describe it. Cool. Okay. You go to the area and you jump down like a hole, kind of like how the bunkers are now. It looks like that. And I think a lot of these are at existing bunkers, in fact. You jump in and you open a door and then you jump down again, I think. And then you're taken to a circular chamber. It's pretty small with like, I think it's 4 doors. And each door has grid coordinates on it. And in addition to that is labeled. So for example, I jump down at Fields and I jump in here and I look at one of the doors. Before I open the door, it'll say like F, it'll say Beachhead on it. So if I open this door and I walk in, I will teleport to the fast transit system at Beachhead after a slight cutscene / delay. If there is like a yellow light on the door, that means it is not in the gas, but it is also not in the circle. So gas is coming for that eventually. If the light is green, it's in circle. If the light is red, it is in gas. So be careful. Probably don't go there. That's how the lighting system works. That's what they mean by that, which is a weird thing to not describe in the fucking patch notes where you're describing it. And it does appear to work. You don't actually travel. You just teleport. And it's something. What are your thoughts on this system, Tanner? Have we have used it, right? We used it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like fast travel systems. I really don't. I don't think a fast travel system belongs in Battle Royale. I don't like it. Didn't like the subway that never worked in Verdansk. Didn't like the red doors. It's, I don't know. It's just, I feel like they were unnecessary. I would rather them add a shitload of more balloons than this. It just feels so off and doesn't fit in Warzone, I think.
I agree.
I don't know, but I'm just, against fast travel in general. I mean, leave fucking fast travel to Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto. Why do we need it in a Battle Royale? It's just dumb, in my opinion. So we used it once or twice, yeah. I don't know. I don't want to use it, and I hope no one does end up using it. I would rather us just balloon. It's more fun. Also, you have to go pretty damn deep into it. Like, you got to jump down, then run a little ways, jump down this other hole. So it's not like you can just, I don't know, jump into a little hole and all of a sudden you're fast traveling. But it was just like weird. Like, we jumped down there at one point and then there was a guy in it. He started shooting at me. I didn't even know I was walking into a fast travel door because it was already opened. So I accidentally just started fast traveling. Like, oh, cool. Was confused. The fast traveling ended. All of a sudden, he apparently fast traveled right after me. As soon as I get to the new station, he's shooting me in the back. I'm like, what the fuck? It was just, I don't know. It's weird, gimmicky. Fast travel systems are stupid and don't belong in a BR, I think.
I agree.
It does work correctly, though. It works as intended, how they want it to. It shows you, it'll say like Beachhead H3, Docks F1. So that's cool, but I would rather them not be in the game, yeah. They're fine, though. Whatever. Well, maybe not.
They introduce another problem, and this happened. You weren't in this, or maybe you were in this game, Tanner. So it didn't happen to us exactly. We all wanted to use the system, so we went to Beachhead. And then we got up, and we got pushed by some team that was by Beachhead. They just rolled up on us and fucked our ass. We were kind of split up. We didn't have much. They were farming us and they were killing us. And then like someone got away, whatever. And then Jake was like, oh, that team that just killed us, some other team just fast traveled to right where they are and came from behind out of nowhere. If you had a UAV popped, you couldn't have known they were coming because they fast traveled right next to you. Kill them all. And they got like omega fucked. And that will happen a lot. And that is not good for the game. There's already a problem with not knowing people are near you because they shoot out of a balloon and they weren't near you 10 seconds ago. And now they are mag dumping you from the sky like a gargoyle from hell and you're dead. And even if you had a UAV popped, you wouldn't have known that because they weren't in UAV range literally 10 seconds ago. Now there's another mechanic where you won't even hear a parachute because they just teleport to you.
Yeah.
In addition to what Tanner said about them feeling weird and out of place and like gimmicky and cheesy and dumb, there's also now even a greater opportunity to get third-partied. I don't like it.
At least you have to climb out of a underground, though.
True.
It's better than dropping in from the sky.
Yes, that is true. But now you can do both. And I think the reason they wanted to do this is because they were like, yeah, Caldera's got too many steep hills and people are complaining about not being able to like move on this map because it's too mountainous. So instead of like making the map better, detonating dynamite on peak, making things a little more level, we're just going to let people teleport to solve the issue instead. It really feels like a Band-Aid to me. It really feels to me like they're hearing all these complaints about how Caldera has too many hills and it's too hard to rotate. And they just said, okay, well, we're not going to change the map. That'd be too much work. We're just going to let people teleport now. So now they can't complain about not getting into zone because they can instantly be 10 kilometers away if they want to.
Yeah, it's just it's cheese that doesn't belong in a BR.
Yeah. Yeah. And I hope that I'm right about their impetus for adding this. I hope that this was just like a band-aid solution to everyone bitching about Caldera being too hilly. And because if that's true, then this probably won't be in Warzone 2. But if this and balloons are in Warzone 2, that's going to suck. I don't like it. I don't think you get anything out of it. There's not really much good here. Like, as an individual, sometimes you're going to be glad there's a transit system in the game because you're getting pushed by 4 people. You have a most wanted, and you play fucking Ring Around the Rosie and like survive barely long enough while they're chasing you through doors and watching a billion cutscenes. But is that good for the game? No, probably not. I think it's dumb. I don't like it. But we have it now. And since it actually works, they're not going to get rid of it. So.
No, of course not. Yeah, that'll be in Caldera until we get Warzone 2, probably.
100%.
Or some other event happens where the bunkers are closed up or something, but I don't know. I don't love it. I don't love it at all. This doesn't belong. Doesn't fit.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. It doesn't belong. And again, I don't care. This is going to be in Warzone until Warzone 2 comes out. I'm just going to have to deal with it. And my big concern is that I hope this is not in Warzone 2. This is stupid.
Yeah.
So we'll see. All right, moving on. New lootable speed boost power up. So this is a lootable little token that has like a shoe with like lightning bolts on it, and you pick it up, and it's not a consumable. And like you can't choose to pop it. You just instantly have the speed boost as soon as you pick it up from a box. This is just, it's like the Caldera speed boost. Caldera Clash mode has the speed boost. It's the same thing. You can just loot it in regular BR now. In Caldera. This is dumb. It's stupid. I mean, like, it's kind of nice when you get it.
Well, it's really cool and good, but since it's not something you can choose to pop, I got it in Capital when Jake and I landed there and we were looting. So I'm like, oh, I got a speed boost. That was cool. There's no one around. It's not benefiting me in any way since I can't choose to pop it. So it's like, all right.
If it was benefiting you, it would be a gigantic benefit because you zoom.
Oh, you slide for like, you thought you could slide far and fast with a stim? No, you slide for 40 damn feet with this thing. You go far. You move really fast. So it's fun. I mean, I was just running all around slide canceling because I do know how, contrary to what the TikTokers were telling me.
It's hard, dude. Are you sure?
So it was cool, but it's like how often are you going to get that in a situation where you need it?
Yeah, I'm not opening
really.
Boxes in a gunfight.
I would rather them make this a field upgrade and remove Dead Silence and have this as a field upgrade, actually. Well, maybe I wouldn't. It'd be fun to use. I wouldn't want to go up against it, though.
Right.
I mean, I don't even think 2020 Sense aim assist could track you with that thing up close. It's nutty.
Yeah, there's no way.
Talking about breaking cameras, I'll break your whole fucking TV. It'll fall off your wall. You'll be spinning in circles so hard, man.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, cool, but doesn't matter.
Yeah, I just don't care about it. It's just dumb. And again, the biggest thing for me is it feels really out of place.
Yeah, kind of.
It feels super out of place. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
because it's like a serious BR here, and I'm moving fucking so fast.
Yeah, it's like there's no other power-ups, and all of a sudden we get a speed boost in the game. It's like, all right, whatever.
It's weird.
Yeah,
I don't like it. So, anyway, whatever. New occupation scan public event. I've not heard or seen about this because it's on Rebirth Island. Okay. So there's a Rebirth Island exclusive. Any player standing or crouching while the scan takes place will have their location exposed on the TAC map for all to see. Players will be informed to go prone prior to the sweep. This is kind of cool for Rebirth Island. I like this idea. It's kind of like in Halo where you'll appear on the minimap unless you're crouching. Same kind of deal, except you have to be prone to like not show up. Rebirth is for like hunting kids down and chasing dots anyway, so an event that like helps everyone do that. I think this is pretty cool. Unless you're facing rats who will definitely go prone and continue to not move, then you're going to be kind of sad. But I think this is neat. I like it. What do you think?
I think it's one of the dumbest things I've ever read, to be honest. And I'm surprised you like it.
You don't like it?
I'm surprised you complain more about the speed boost than this. I mean, this is just weird. I don't. So
Because
it's like
it's
the whole
all
map's
rebirth,
just going to
it's
go
like-
prone. It's like, what? Huh?
I think it's only in a small area. They would call it like, well, I mean, maybe it is the whole
They call
area.
it a scan, which makes me thinking it's scanning the entire map. Will have their location exposed on the attack map for all to see. Oh yeah, because it's a public event. It's not like someone picks it up and pops it. So
Yeah, I
it
guess
covers
you're
the
right.
entire map. The public event, what is this? Though they're reaching here. The public event really brings lethals and tacticals like gas grenades and Molotovs into consideration. You can use them to flush enemies out of hiding to expose them on the map.
If
That
I
is
already
the
know they're prone in
dumbest
there,
thing.
I don't need them to be on the mini map.
Well, you're not going to know they're prone because they are prone.
Exactly. So how are you going to flush them out with a gas grenade
Yeah.
or a Molotov?
That
Raven?
statement is like the backwards, the exact opposite of what this,
Holy shit.
of
that's
what the
funny.
case would be there. It's like, huh?
Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense
Makes
at all.
no sense. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
If anything, those are going to do you no good because the people that are pinged are going to be moving because they're crouched or standing. By the time you throw your gas grenade in that room, they're going to be fucking gone.
Yeah.
Whatever. They're just trying to get people to use other tacticals, I guess.
Yeah, they
lethals.
really tried to squeeze in a gas grenade
little
reference
pro
or
tip,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Quite the pro tip. Thanks, Raven. Appreciate that.
Activision devs do not play their own game. All right, moving on.
Whoever, yeah, never mind. I was gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna say, whoever works at Raven, whoever works on Warzone, should be forced to have at minimum a 1.0 KD in Warzone, at bare minimum. Don't make decisions unless you have higher.
Or
than that.
just some playtime, man. How about a couple hours of Warzone? Just a couple. We don't need demon devs. Have an average KD, a 0.88 or whatever the mean average is.
What was Ted's? What was that? 0.9, right?
It was higher than I thought it was going to be.
I think it was
honestly.
0.9
It was
or
a sub
1.
1.0 KD, but it was unironically higher than I thought it was going to be. It was like 0.96 or something.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that statement doesn't
developer.
make any sense, but
Head developer, negative. That's who's heading this ship.
you
That's
guys wonder
who's
why
in the,
skill-based matchmaking is so strong. It's because they were getting
Well.
shit on in public lobby, so they had to implement
Well.
something to fix it.
Moving on, increase downed movement speed, all maps and modes. Increase the speed at which a player moves while in the downed state. That's interesting. We felt the down movement speed needed a review, primarily to allow players who get downed a chance to get themselves to a safer space to allow for a revive. There's a small change on the surface that has allowed for more interesting outcomes during internal playtests. Once again, they don't do internal playtests. That's a lie. Interesting. I didn't notice this at all.
I thought you literally said that when we were playing.
No, I definitely didn't.
It was someone else then, okay.
Yeah.
Somebody was like, oh yeah, you can move a lot faster.
Did you
when
notice
down.
this?
I never really tried to move when I was downed, honestly. Now that I think about it, the few times I got downed, I either tried to self right away because I was already behind cover, or I just sat there and waited for Jake to clean up and come res me. I don't know. I mean, this is just another change, obviously, that they had to make because of the way Caldera was designed. So this makes a lot of sense because, yeah, if you get downed like in a set of trees on Caldera, this will give you a better chance of getting behind one, getting a self off, or just staying in cover while the teammate fights him. Whereas
everything's
before
so
you'd get
open.
fooled. So yeah, I like this change a lot.
Yeah, I think it's probably fine. Yeah, that's a great point. I think you're right. So that's cool. Not a change I would have thought to make, so kudos to them for even thinking about it. Next, stim adjustments. All maps and modes. Slide modifier has been reduced, is what they said. So that's not true. The slide modifier has been removed. You don't slide any faster now when you stim than if you slide without stimming. It wasn't reduced, it's gone.
In fact, it's slower, if anything.
That's what I've heard a number of people say. Huskers as well. It might be bugged.
Oh, did he really? It's
Yeah.
bugged then. Yeah, it's bugged.
It might be bugged, yeah. So here's what they said about it. The slide modifier was simply too extreme. While we believe that sliding movement should be buffed when a player is using a stim, it still needs to fit within limits. Okay. So on its own, okay, sure. Next, added a weapon damage received interruption effect. If a player receives weapon damage, this would be like as opposed to getting hit with a grenade or something. The healing effect will be interrupted, which means stopped. The previous mechanic allowed players to repeatedly heal themselves while actively taking damage, which is not the intent of this tool. This on its own would be a great change. This is how I recommended they nerf stims alone and not touch the movement. They've done both. So we've had a couple. I didn't even try to use stims because I knew they were going to be terrible.
Oh, yeah. I played for 10 minutes and told you don't bother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gutted.
But yeah. How was the stim experience, Tanner? Tell us about it.
Gutted.
Are stims still worth using?
Absolutely gutted.
Yeah.
I used my same setup that I already had. I told Jake, I was like, oh yeah, I want to try these stims out because I'm hearing some pretty shit things about them. Popped it. You can sprint a little bit faster, not that much faster. I honestly don't know how just the actual sprint speed is compared to before, because every time before when I would pop a stim, I would immediately slide. I would never pop a stim and just sprint, so I don't know. That seems slower, but it may have been the same. I go to slide, and it feels like I'm stuck in sand or something. Now, maybe it's giving you that effect because you're going from the sprint to now the stim boosted sprint speed to the now nerfed stim slide. So it could be the slide is the exact same speed as a normal slide, but it gives you the feeling that it's a lot slower since you have the sprint boost right before you go into that. But to me, the way it feels is it's just bugged, actually. So yeah, I'm with Raz. They should have made it either... Well, one, the stim slide should still be in the game. Make it slower, make it a little bit low, or not as long, maybe. Make it so the overall sprint speed, well, you have a stim, decrease that by like 2% or something. And also, on top of that, sure, have it stop healing once a certain amount of damage was taken. I don't know about any damage. I don't love being able to be shot by someone with a pistol from 30 meters and that completely stop the regen. Maybe have a threshold for when it stops the damage, like 50 damage taken. Not like a ton, but enough so like certain guns they can't put one bullet and it stops you. But the way they nerfed this, or possibly maybe it's bugged right now because that's how bad it feels, utterly horrendous, gutted, unusable. Take your stim off your classes right now because it is terrible. There's no reason to run this whatsoever. If it's not giving you the slide boost and it's not regenning through being shot, zero reason to run this when you can throw a snapshot grenade with restock every 25 seconds.
Yeah, because in addition to all these nerfs to stims, they're still also the only tactical that takes double the amount of time to regen with restock as everything else. So it's like that should have been reverted also if they were going to make stims this bad. So, and now everyone's using snapshot grenades, which is not fun either. We had
it's worse
a gunfight.
Than everyone using stims. I don't know, actually, maybe not.
I don't know. I mean, we had a 4v4 gunfight in factory. One team was just in a building with restock snaps and prox mines. We were also, all four of us, running restock snaps, and it was a joke. It's just silly. It was dumb what was happening. It's like they were constantly highlighted, and so were we. We killed them because we're better than them eventually. But it's just it was so absurd. It's like, okay, like everyone knows where we are at all times now because everyone's using snapshot restock. So here's what they needed to do with the stims. Maybe slightly lower the speed boost that you got, but not remove it or virtually remove it like they have done, and instead have the interruption effect only and keep the movement the same. I think that would have been fine, and stims still would have been worth using. I think a damage threshold would have been ideal for the interruption effect and keep movement the same, or lower the movement slightly. Because the problem on Caldera with stims is only that you can heal through an infinite amount of damage if people are far away. It wasn't really the movement speed that was broken about stims on Caldera. On Rebirth, it's probably the movement speed. So maybe you do want to nerf the movement speed a little bit, but not as much as they did, certainly. This was bad. They did 2 really big nerfs, and they made stims completely not worth using, yeah. And then again, we're seeing restock snaps every 25 seconds. Here's what they need to do. Instead of bringing the stim restock timer down to 25 seconds, every single tactical needs to take 50 seconds to regen. So stims and everything else.
I agree.
Because the snapshot spam is absurd.
Snapshot needs to be 50 seconds as well, or a minute or something.
All of them do. I think literally every tactical. That's just the easiest.
That's
fix.
true. Because if you do that, then people will move on to stuns. If you do that, they'll move on to flash grenades or something, probably. I mean, obviously stuns and flashes aren't as good anymore. Stuns can be, actually, yeah.
I think they would still use snaps, but it would just be less of a spam fest. Honestly.
Yeah, I think if they nerf snaps, the regen rate, I think that completely shakes up the perk 2 meta, and I'm probably grabbing like tempered instead of restock. So that would start shifting things up quite a bit, which I would love to run tempered if I could.
That's true.
I was going to try it now, but yeah, if we're playing quads and everyone's running snaps, it's not going to be very fun. So I don't know.
Yeah. So I hope you guys like snapshot grenades. Because they are everywhere now. They were this morning and they will continue to be. And I will tell you with certainty now, they will be doing something to lower the amount of time everyone's snapshotted. This will have to happen.
Within a week, I would imagine.
It's going to people are already bitching a lot about it, rightfully.
This may be one of those things where they're already like gonna hotfix it in like today or tomorrow or something. I could see them doing that. It's just, I'm actually utterly shocked that they didn't think that was going to happen. When you gutted stims, the only thing that makes sense is maybe the stim gut isn't intentional, like the sliding not doing anything anymore, and so that's why they didn't think. But since stims are just unusable, then of course everyone's using snapshots. How did you not think that was going to happen? Again,
Activision devs do not play.
Yeah, you claim internal play testing, but it's like snapshots have been really good for a long time. What did you think people were going to do? That's what's shocking to me, that they didn't.
Yes,
they didn't see that coming. It was the most obvious, glaring issue that was going to come up, and they didn't see it. I don't know. Crazy. Yeah,
there were still like plenty of people running snapshots, even when stims were really good. So of course this is going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you just make all of them regen 50 seconds.
Yeah.
And add some more speed to the stim, and then we're pretty good.
Yeah,
I think that would be ideal.
Literally nothing needs to change with snapshots other than the regen rate. Just change them all to 50 or 45 something. Stims, they did it a specific amount so you couldn't stay alive forever in the gas. That's why it's like 50 versus like 45 or 60 or
25.
Whatever.
50 versus 25.
No,
Oh,
but
I
I'm
see
saying
what
if
you're
it was
saying.
45, essentially someone could stay alive forever in the gas.
Yeah, I got you.
But yeah, so literally just change the restock timer on them and we're good with snapshots.
Yeah, I agree.
Splish splash. I was taking a bath and I noticed I have beautiful balls. Our friends at MANSCAPED, the global leaders in below-the-waist hygiene, are turning men's shower dreams into their favorite routine with the all-new Ultra Premium Collection. This all-in-one hygiene skin and hair bundle is designed to upgrade that everyday man shower routine from head to toe. Your skin, hair, and balls deserve this. Save big by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping using the code DROPSHOT. Let me walk you through this MANSCAPED shower routine. Step 1. You're going to lather on that cologne-infused ultra-premium body wash with aloe vera and sea salt to keep your skin feeling clean and moisturized all day. Not sure if you heard that correctly, but this body wash is cologne infused. So that special someone in your life will absolutely love it. Step 2, it's hair care time. Apply the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner that cleanses and nourishes in one step. The non-greasy formula has a base of coconut water, green tea, aloe turmeric, and sage. Apply this to your armpits and pubic region too. Step 3. Once you hop out of the shower, protect yourself from body odor by applying on the MANSCAPED aluminum-free deodorant. Dries clear, and it's also cologne infused. Step 4. You have tattoos or dry skin? Let's hit your skin with the hydrating body moisturizer spray. Step 5. You're going to apply the MANSCAPED lip balm. This is a free gift when you purchase the Ultra Premium Collection. Last but not least, we are using the Lawnmower 4.0 electric trimmer to clean off any unwanted body hair. The 4.0 is waterproof, so you bet it's a major key to the new shower routine. This elite trimmer is designed to trim hair on loose skin. Although your balls might look like punching bags, don't treat them like one and benefit from their proprietary skin-safe technology. This new bundle will change your life, and I want all of my listeners out there to live their best lives. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code DROPSHOT at manscaped.com. 20% off free shipping using the code DROPSHOT at manscaped.com. It's time to get wet and clean with your new Manscaped shower routine.
And now, on to playtime, which is the next heading. It's one of the little pillars they talked about.
Quite the pillar.
We're on to the third pillar of 3. New lootable Gulag entry token in Caldera. This new lootable token allows players to re-enter the Gulag upon death. When the Gulag closes, players will be rewarded with cash if they still hold a token. Players will still start each match with a Gulag entry token in their inventory, which you'll be able to see on the new heads-up display, which we'll get into. And you can only carry 1 token at a time. So basically, how this works is, let's say you die, you win your Gulag, you come back. Normally, if you die again, there's no more Gulag for you. You just die and have to get bought back. But if you win your Gulag, come back and then find one of these little tokens, loot that sucker, and then if you die again, you go back to the Gulag. Pretty simple, pretty easy to understand. They are relatively rare, not insanely rare.
Well,
you'll find them.
They're pretty common.
A couple.
Saw more of those than perks.
Definitely more common than perks, yeah. What are your thoughts on this edition?
I'm torn, man. I'd stop letting people survive so easily in a battle royale. Also, they said, we've really enjoyed seeing the response to our recent Infinite Gulag LTMs. Wanted to bring an element of this across to core battle royale. That's an LTM. Stop bringing these elements into a core battle royale, though, right? Just leave some cheese dog shit LTM like that, and if that's what you want. This is a BR. I'm supposed to die in the game. Stop letting me stay alive after I gotten... Hey, if I've been downed and killed 6 times, why should I be allowed to respawn, man? I shouldn't. Yeah. Stop catering to me and dog shit players. Just stop. So that's my first thought. Second thought is, okay, this is cool. I do get what they're saying. You are going to have more playtime, yeah, because I don't have to wait to be bought back constantly. I can just, hopefully I have one of those and respawn. And then was when Jake made that point. He's like, cool, now there's just always going to be fucking people floating in the air, which is a solid point. There were 40 people left in like the last small circle, and 10 of those people were flying into the air because they had a Gulag token or something.
All shooting at Jake, yeah.
So Jake lost about a 1v12 to no one fighting each other. 4 of them were in the air, 2 of them were in front of them, 1 of them was in an armored Bertha behind him. I mean, it was a clusterfuck. So it's kind of just... I don't even know if we can continue to call this a battle royale, because a battle royale should be the last one standing who hasn't died 8 times and gotten bought back, won their Gulag, had a Gulag token, had a fire sale, had a whatever, however many. There's 40 ways I can respawn in Warzone. Let's just stop calling it a battle royale, because that's just not what this is anymore. We're playing multiplayer on Caldera. That's what this is turning into. It's just like Rebirth now. Let's just add... It should just be Resurgence at this point. Why not? Fuck BR, man. It's not a BR. Fast travel? This? I'm playing
boost.
Resurgence at this point, man. It's kind of crazy. So, too early to tell. It's interesting. It's kind of cool. You're going to hate it when you die to it late game like Jake did. It took Jake all of 2 games to mold from that, so.
Yeah, it's too early to tell. The thing about it is, like, yeah, it definitely will keep you in the game longer on average. But there were times, even in the like 5 matches I played today, where it's like I win my gulag, I come back, I don't find a token, and then I die, and it's like, okay, well now it's like kind of the same, right? You have to survive long enough after having won your gulag or being bought back to loot a token, which on average does take a while. And so it's like maybe okay. I don't know how I feel about it though. I don't know. I'm with you. It's like we got to play more.
Because there's things to like and there's things to not like. If you're a sweat and you're not ever dying to cheese like that, if you've never died that way, have never gotten mad, then it's great for you. The lobbies are staying alive late game. You can just beam people out of the sky. You probably get a lot more kills that way. But then also, yeah, once you die to some crap like that, you're going to be really mad. It's one of those things.
Yes, I agree. You know what I think would fix a lot of the issues? Don't let people shoot their guns in the air. Hot take, it's dumb. Make people parachute, make people be on the ground before they can shoot their gun. Because that's like, if I have a loadout and I'm coming from a balloon and I like pull my chute at like 20 meters, I can get you one shot before I land. It's stupid. Like when it was only the pistols and this didn't matter, then like, okay, whatever. But now that you come back with your gulag guns rather than a pistol, now that you can shoot yourself through a balloon, loadout guns instead of a pistol, becomes a lot more of an issue. And I think you could actually at least help a lot of these frustrations by just don't let people shoot their gun in the air. Because how long are you in the air anyway that you're going to care that much that they removed that? Does it really matter? Is it really that big of a deal? No. But it will help everyone be less frustrated by some guy. I mean, like a bat just fucking your ass from the air. Yeah. I think that's what needs. I think that would be a great start, is like, just don't let people shoot guns in the air anymore.
Then that, I don't know, then that makes the balloons kind of useless. You're just going to you're better off not taking them at that point.
Well, just don't balloon directly onto people and you'll be fine. Just balloon close and then like move your character up to them.
Yeah.
Be fine. I think it would be better than what we have now. Anyway, whatever. Let's move on. Yeah, the Gulag entry token, I don't know. I gotta play with more. I think it's probably fine. And it makes sense why they would want to do it. There's another new lootable called the Redeploy Extraction token. This is the same thing as a Gulag token, except instead of a token that gives you entry to another attempt at the Gulag, if you're holding this token and you die, you just instantly respawn out of the air. I've never seen this once. But so it's probably pretty rare, and you can likewise only carry one of these at a time. But this is, if it's as rare as I think it is, this is probably, again, fine, I guess. I don't know. And if you have this, you only come back with a pistol.
I'm realizing something now. This is what I got. I never got a Gulag entry token. This is what I got twice. That's what I picked up. Because
really? So I never got this.
So early game, you wouldn't even be able to grab a Gulag entry token because you essentially already have one. That's the new UI thing, is it shows your... Okay.
Correct.
I found 2 of these. One I found early game, the other one I found late game, and I forgot that I found it was that the second game we were playing, when we were in quads, I did die, and I wasn't even thinking, and I was like on my phone or something, and the next thing I knew, I'm floating in the air. I'm like, oh, someone must have bought me back. But I'm realizing now, there was only like one person left alive, like Jake or someone, and they weren't even close to a buy. So that's what happened. I came back because of the token. So I didn't see a Gulag entry token. I got the Redeploy Extraction. That's what it was.
Okay. Yeah. This is definitely better than a Gulag entry token for sure.
Oh, a lot better. Yeah, you do come back with a pistol, like you're saying, though. But it's, I mean, that's no different than being bought back.
Right. Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah. Again, I'd have to play more for this. Like, the advantage of this token is that you are guaranteed to come back. The disadvantage is you won't have gulag guns if you do come back with this. So there's like some counterbalance there, which is something. So like, okay. Again, I think I'm probably fine with this, but we just need to play more with these tokens to see. So there you go. Here's another one. Increased lootable self revives. The spawn rate of lootable selves has been increased. Okay. I mean, sure. I don't know. You got to thirst everyone now. And a lot of times it's hard to thirst people on Caldera because they're so far away. And now they move faster too. So it's like, you really got to thirst people.
I did notice people were, everyone we fought, especially in duos, seemed to have self-reses. Yeah. This may kind of bring back, or bring throwing knives more into play in Caldera, actually.
Maybe, yeah.
Because especially since they move faster, like you're saying, too.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess it's fine. I don't know. I don't like where I just have to assume every single person has self, and that's probably what I'm going to have to do now. I think you should like be pretty punished for being down. I don't know. Call me crazy.
It's funny because they say under review, we felt that self-revives are too rare for ground loot for something so easily and readily available in buy stations. So their chance of ground loot availability has been increased. But it's like, yeah, they were in buy stations, but like people wouldn't actually buy them that often. So it's like,
true.
It kind of doesn't make any sense. I don't know. It's essentially was just something you bought mid to late game when you had a bunch of money and nothing else to spend it on, kind of. Or the sweats would always buy them either way. I don't know. Whatever. It's not that big of a deal, really. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I agree. So, and this is on Caldera. So next is player count adjustment. Reduce total player count per match to 120. This is down from 150 or 155 or something. Here's what they said about it. With the addition of new second chance mechanics, we are very conscious of making sure the mid game doesn't feel unfairly claustrophobic compared to the current BR pacing. We will therefore be trialing a slightly reduced player count, slightly, 30 less players, across all core BR squad sizes. We will be carefully reviewing sentiment and data to make sure that the engagement pacing remains more or less in line with the current experience and that players can still pursue new personal records. So if it is the case that they're going to like keep an eye on this player count and make sure it's not too many or too little, then I'm fine with this. Because there is something to be said for, with all of these extra ways to not get kicked out of the game, you probably do want fewer players in the lobby. They're probably right about that.
Yeah.
Is 120 the correct number? I don't know. Neither do they. So they're going to be testing this out and then adjusting from here. I think if you're going to add all this second chance shit, you need to do something like this, and this is a pretty good way to go about it. What do you think?
Yeah, I saw some people right away freaking out about this, and it's like, well, did you read the rest of the notes? No one's ever going to full die, so it's like, it makes sense. The thing I noticed from playing briefly was that early game, a lot less exciting than it used to be, probably unless you're hot dropping somewhere like Peak. I mean, I went Capital, there was not a single other team there. Looted around for minutes, had to balloon and pop like 4 UAVs to be able to find a team. So that was a little frustrating. But once you get to mid to late game, it is a lot more exciting than it used to be. I mean, there are a shitload of people left. I think the circle was between like Beachhead. Let me look at our little map here. I think it was like between Beachhead and,
oh yeah,
what is that? Arsenal? What is that one? No, Subpen. Somewhere between that, it was a very small, pretty small circle on the beast there. This is when I was playing duos. And there were 40 people left. And in a normal Caldera circle like that, you'd be at like less than 20. So it was an insane ending. That was really exciting. So it's kind of just traded off to having potentially really exciting starts to now that being late game, which actually I prefer, because then you have all your loadout guns. You're fighting with what you want to use instead of having to use a pistol against some guy that just found a, gold ground loot well gun. So I like this change so far, but very early to tell. I think 120 may be a little low. I'm thinking maybe closer to like 130. Any lower than 120 though, and we may kind of start getting into like boring territory, but we'll see. Another thing is, I think this will help with performance and issues. Server issues with less players, better console performance, especially those on last-gen console probably, and maybe better FPS for PC players. I didn't exactly notice it. I wasn't paying attention too much, but all of those things would make sense. I didn't notice any server issues in the 2 games we played, so maybe that's their way of saying our servers suck. We don't want to admit it. We're not ever going to talk about it. Let's reduce the player count and see if that helps with that too. So all in all, this is I think this is a good change. It makes a lot of sense with everything else they did. They kind of had to do this.
Yeah. If you're correct about your assessment, I didn't really think about it, so I didn't notice it, but I'll keep my, brain turned on for this. If you're making the early game less crazy and the late game more crazy, that is, like you said, exactly what I would want as well. I want it to be super hot and a lot of gunfights when I'm not at the mercy of RNG wondering if this guy picked up a good gun or not.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be cool if that is how it works. And it does logically make sense that would be the case.
Yeah.
Right? Because there are fewer people, but more people are getting bought back. So this is cool. Yeah. And I'm on board with this.
Yeah,
so.
it kind of gives you a little bit. It's also going to help with your loadouts getting camped early game, stuff like that. There's less players.
Yeah, true.
So I think it kind of lets you set up a little bit more early on with your squad, maybe get some streaks going, do some more contracts uncontested. So yeah, you're going to be a little bored to start with, but it's going to pay off when it comes to mid to late game if you've done what you should, and that's do as many contracts as you can with no one around and get a shitload of money loaded up.
Right. Yeah.
So far I like it.
Yes. So next is buying back teammates is $3,000 instead of $4,000. This is fine. We want to support players being able to get back into the game. We felt that 4K was an often unattainable cost, especially at $12,000 for a full squad and quads. The slight reduction should provide more chances for players to more readily get back to a full squad. I think this is fine and even good because a lot of times buying your teammates back isn't really an issue of money anyway. It's an issue of getting to a buy station and not dying and then actually buying the teammate back safely. And that's still a risk you run. Like, you still don't want to be the last guy alive in quads. It's still going to be sketchy buying people back. Only now, you're just going to have to loot for a little less time before you can do that. And 3K is still a pretty big penalty. And again, you still have to make it to a buy. So I think this is probably good. And I like it. I'm fine with it. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm fine with it too. It does make it easier, especially with this next thing we're about to talk about. It definitely is going to make it easier when you're the last one alive and don't want to do a contract or there's no contracts in safe areas to help you regain and start buying teammates back. So it's not a huge amount, but it goes in line with everything else they've changed, and it kind of all blends together, and I think creates a nice little dynamic they have going with the player counts and everything else.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and this is for Caldera and Rebirth. And also,
I didn't realize that was for Rebirth.
Yeah. So also for Caldera and Rebirth, death tax adjustment. So before, if you died and then you respawn, you win your gulag, you'd come back with 20% of the money you had died with. Now you come back with 50%. So you lose half your cash instead of 80% of it. That is huge. That's a really big deal. And this is, again, just a way to keep you and your team in the game longer. Because now if you win your gulag and your teammate doesn't, you have to loot way less to buy him back now. Which I think is probably fine. Especially with how annoying and frustrating it can be on this map particularly to regain when there's no POIs left in the third circle and it's all in the ocean or on a beach and there's no loot. So there's no money to be picked up anyway. So if I kept more from dying and coming back, it's probably good. And my only concern again would be streak spam, but all in all, I think I support this, and losing half your money is still a big deal. So yeah, what do you think?
I like this, yeah, and I do like especially how they said it's going to be a lot easier to know how much you're going to come back with. You can easily think like, oh, how much money did I set? I said like, I just picked up a 12,000 stack and I died with it, so I know I'm going to have 6, versus before it's like, I honestly didn't ever know it was 20%. I mean, I knew it was a set number, but I didn't know it was as low as 20%. That's pretty damn low, because I'd always just be like, holy shit, I feel like I had so much money and now I have none, so... I like this. It's going to make buying loadouts after a couple teammates dying a lot easier, too. So more time with your custom loadout guns, the better, because that's what makes Warzone fun.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. There you go. So now on to another heading, quality of life improvements. Let's see. So they're coming out strong. Coming out strong is a good one. Expanded squad heads-up display. So now there's basically a new little UI for yourself in the bottom left and your teammates if you're playing in a team mode. Here's what those include. Total squad cash. So there's at the very top, you see the collective amount of money you all have together. So now you don't have to do quick maths to see if you have money for a loadout or not.
We hate quick maths.
Which is very nice. Yeah. And if you have enough for a loadout, in case you can't tell if the number is over or less than 10,000, this was a little unnecessary, wasn't it? An icon will appear in this space of a loadout.
Oh, I didn't realize
you have enough money to buy a loadout.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
That's
cute.
In case you can't read 10,000, then you can look at that little tiny icon and try to figure out what that means. Yeah, that's cool, man.
Right,
it's an accessibility change.
Yeah, it's an accessibility change for sure, yeah. If you can't access neurons in your brain, you can just look for the pretty colored icon. So there you go. But that's fine. No, that's good. Total squad money is cool. You got a little icon there. And total squad cash. Yeah. An icon will appear if a squad can afford a loadout drop. And an icon will appear when player buyback costs are met. That's cool too. So if you have enough money to buy someone back, you'll see a little parachute on the same space as your total squad money as well. I didn't think to look for this, but that's kind of neat too. Again, if you can't add to 3,000, you'll be able to see this icon. That's pretty cool. So far, so good. More information's always good. You can now see how many plates each squad member has. This is very nice. When your teammates lie to you about how many plates they have left, they can no longer do that. So this is cool.
I like how they said that too when your teammates tell you they have no plates left. Side eye emoji.
The side eyes emoji, yeah.
This, by the way, it's a very difficult number to read. It's not easy to read. Like the other things you can glance over real quick.
More. Yeah.
It does not stand out. So it's like it's essentially a little white plate icon, and over that there's a solid white number. Very difficult to read. So that number either needs to be a different color, or actually just give me the number. You don't even need to put the little plate icon. If everyone knows what it's for, put a 3, put a 4. I don't know, change that, because it's difficult to read. I gotta like fucking look at my HUD and stare. I gotta zoom in. I gotta take a screenshot of it, paste it into Microsoft Paint, zoom in just to see how many plates my teammate has. So that could definitely be improved on, but I really like the feature.
Yeah, agreed. They could make the number of plates more visible for sure. It's like, it's a white number on top of the existing plate icon, which is literally just like very light gray. It's very tough.
To me, it's an ageism thing, so it's kind of fucked up actually, because people we get older, we can't see as well. So we need that accessibility change ASAP, Ted, because I can't see shit.
Anyone listening is a lawyer, we would like to file a class action lawsuit for ageism, because this number is too hard to see.
That is true.
And that's a joke. And also for each squad member, there are possession icons. So these icons will appear if that player is holding any of or all of the following: a gas mask, a kill streak, and I think it even shows what streak they have. It does.
Yeah.
So it'll be like a UAV icon if it's a UAV, or like whatever. Self revive, which already existed. Key cards. Don't loot key cards. Gulag entry token, which is nice, so that if you find one, you already have one, you can ping it for a teammate if you know someone doesn't have one. And redeploy extraction token as well. This is all great. These are just simple quality of life improvements. They have no downside. They appear to be working as intended. They appear to count the money correctly and show the appropriate number of plates. And you have a gas mask. It shows the icon. It's working as intended. Yeah. Looks good. Could be improved a little bit, as we've talked about. But there's nothing to complain about here.
No, it's good.
Really good changes.
It's good for things like comms too, because like it's something we're gonna have to get used to. But earlier, I needed plates, and I dropped the plate box, and then I'm like, "There's plates here, Jake." And then I look, and I'm like, "Oh shit, he was already fully plated." So I could have like technically saved that if I had looked. So instead of, if you, let's say you come across an armor box and a muni, instead of when your teammates are fighting, you trying to ask them, oh, should I pick up the armor or muni if they're like far away or something, you can literally look and see how many plates they are and be like, oh shit, no one has plates. I'm going to grab this. Fuck the muni. Or if you see all of your teammates are fully plated, then there's instances where, you can say, drop me a couple plates instead of wasting the armor box if your teammates don't need it yet, etc. So I like that feature too, not having to, plan out the entire thing and kind of just knowing and then being able to throw it using your best judgment or whatnot.
It also clears up comms too, which is a good point that I hadn't thought of. Because now I don't have to be like, anyone have any plates?
Yeah, I'm just like, you give me plates.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, okay, you have a full satchel, drop some now.
Yeah.
It's way faster.
Fantastic change. Fantastic.
And this you don't have to ask if someone like let's say I have 2 plates on my character, not 3. You might assume I don't have any extra plates. I might have 8. Now I don't have to ask. Now I'll know. So I can either tell you, I can either be like, here's some plates for you because I know you don't have plates, or, hey, dumbass, put a plate on. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Cleans up comms a lot. You have to ask, oh, do you need plates?
Yep.
So this is really cool.
What else? I was going to say something else about it. I don't remember anymore. I mean, the major thing missing from this HUD, I don't want it on the squad HUD, but my own HUD is still what perks I pick up. I need to know what perks I have, especially because if I'm looting so fast, I accidentally grab it. Unless it's like tempered or high alert or something obvious, I may not even know for a while, and then I realize like, oh shit, someone's footsteps are here. I guess I have tracker, Put that at the bottom of the screen. I don't need to see my squad's perks, but that needs to be somewhere on the HUD. This is a great improvement. The other nice thing too is like this is another one of those things that we're just expecting now to be in Warzone 2 at launch is a nice HUD feature like this.
Yes, true.
So yeah, there's nothing to complain about with this HUD at all. It's solid to have.
And they'll clean it up a little bit too. They'll make it the visibility better and shit. This is a great start. I'm really, really happy with this. Iceman Isaac made a video on this like months ago, saying they should add all this shit, and they've done it. So good for them.
Yeah.
Next. Okay, I'm going to read this before we talk about it. Improved footstep audio. The team has completed a reprioritization pass of NPC, which stands for non-player character, by the way, footstep audio relative to other crucial gameplay sounds to prevent voice culling of NPC footsteps. Now, I read this, and my first thought was, what NPCs? Because I don't know if you guys know this, but right now in Warzone, in every single game of Warzone being played right now, add up all the NPCs and all the games total, you have 0 NPCs. There are no NPCs in Warzone right now. That's only player characters. So I don't know why they said NPC. I hope to God they meant player characters, other people's footsteps, because there are no NPCs. So use the right fucking words, first of all. Second of all, footstep audio relative to other crucial gameplay sounds. I like that. And then they say to prevent voice culling of NPC footsteps. So what I'm taking this to mean is they are going to more highly prioritize footstep audio in your stupid ears when the announcer is saying enemy UAV above, or when your operator pings something and says, hey, look over there, or whatever. That's good. This is literally exactly what we asked for. Hey, footstep audio needs to be priority number 1 with all the sidechaining goofy audio shit. If footstep audio is happening, it needs to be on the top of the list of things you hear in that priority sequence, not the announcer. So that's awesome. I'm curious if this increased priority includes the sound of jets screaming over my head when a precision is coming in, which even without any priorities at all is too loud. Change it. Or clusters hitting the building, etc. I don't know if they've done that. Maybe they did. Maybe they only changed it such that footsteps are now higher than voices, but lower than everything else that they used to be lower than. Or if footsteps made it even above a precision plane or something. I don't know. But with that said, this is, if true, this is the most important point. If true, this is good. What are your thoughts, Tanner?
I don't think it's possible they could have explained this change worse than they did. Yeah, correct. This makes absolutely no sense. Correct. The biggest issue with footstep audio was always the announcer yelling something in my ear, the timer counting down, beep, beep, beep. That's a timer, by the way, if you don't know what it is. It makes that sound.
That's the timer on 20% volume. Yeah.
An airstrike attacking me, an airstrike being called in, a cluster being dumped on me, all while someone's running a foot away and me not be able to hear anything. So gunfire. So if this really didn't affect any things like precision airstrikes, then this was utterly a waste of their time to do, and it needs to be fixed now immediately. But I just don't know, because they couldn't have explained this worse. And all of Ted Timmons' replies on Twitter right now are literally people screenshotting this, and they're like, what the fuck does this mean? Is this any player footstep? Is this only enemies? Does this affect your teammates' foots? Like, what does this mean? And so far, I just checked his Twitter again right now to see if he's responded to anyone. He has not responded to anyone about it. So, no idea what this means. I think I was hearing people a little bit better in the gulag. Maybe not. It may have just been one of those things where I was really trying to listen, and so I did hear them. There was also no one talking in my ear at the time, because it doesn't even sound like they made footsteps louder, which is what everyone's assuming. It just, they say they reprioritize it. So I don't think footstep audio is louder, which is funny, because I saw this clip that Ghost of Hope liked and responded to on Twitter, and it was this guy, some guy on Twitter, posting a clip, and he was like, it said in all caps, footstep audio, oh my god, and it was dead serious. It was him playing solos in the middle of nowhere in Caldera, not a single other noise happening, and he hears this guy's footsteps from 20 feet away. It's like, well, yeah, buddy. Of course, there's no other sound going on. That was never the issue with footstep audio. It's always been the layering. So if it's only layering and they didn't increase the footstep audio even a percentage, then I would say this was useless. Again, it's going to take a lot of playtime to determine how we feel on this. We'll let you know on Saturday. It's definitely a step in the right direction, but remember what we said last time, the footstep audio will never be good in Warzone. Ever. Correct. Just too many unnecessary sounds. Precision airstrikes have blown out your eardrums since the beta of Modern Warfare 2019, and it was never addressed.
We can't hear anyway.
Everyone
ruined our hearing.
Everyone complained about that day one of Modern Warfare. Yo, the audio for airstrikes are kind of loud. Ashton's like, yo, retweeting this Biden 2016 thing. Sorry, what are you guys asking for? And so it's like, we never, ever got that. ever. And so they're just entirely too loud still. So I don't know. I don't think this does enough. The layering was a major issue, but also I think the footsteps just need to be louder. I don't know.
Right.
So we'll fucking see.
We'll fucking see, indeed.
It'll never be good, though, and I'll never be happy with it. I can tell you that with certainty.
That is, of course, true, yeah.
Because there's just too many sounds in Warzone as it is. Too many unnecessary sounds, yeah.
Yeah, so I haven't played enough to notice a difference either, like Tanner said. I have no idea. Like, I'm exactly the same thing. In the Gulag, I was like, I can hear people a little better, I think. But I was also trying to, like, really hard to see if the audio was better or not.
Oh, I laid prone in the Gulag listening for the guy, and I heard him 3 feet away. So I'm like, oh, shit, I could hear him. But then looking back, it's like, well, I could hear him because I wasn't moving, probably.
Yeah.
So
like, if all they did was layer footstep audio above the announcer and your own character saying things, and that's it, then this is not enough, obviously. If they added, if all they did was increase the layering so that it's higher than not only the announcer, but everything else, then that might actually be enough. But I don't think they did that because they probably would have said it. And that's what they need to do. Other people, enemy footstep audio needs to be number one layer when it's happening. It needs to be above precision, above cluster. It doesn't mean you mute clusters when there are enemy footsteps. It just means you deprioritize them relative to enemy footstep audio. That's what they need to do. I'm not even sure footstep audio needs to be louder than it is. I actually don't know, because there are always so many sounds going on in Warzone that I can't hear footsteps because it's drowned out by everything else. But when I'm in the Gulag and the timer's done and the announcer is done,
yeah,
which takes entirely too long, by the way, the announcer needs to not talk when the last buzzer happens. By the way, here's another quality of life improvement.
Don't even need the buzzer.
Tell him to shut the fuck up. Talk before the round starts. Duh. Oh, make sure you cap the flag. You really want to make sure you kill him this time. Ha ha ha. I hope you redeploy. He's trolling me, dude. Stop.
Yeah.
Say your shit before the round starts. But again, when I was in the Gulag and I was prone and the announcer had finally shut the fuck up, I did hear footsteps pretty well. So I'm not sure when there are no other sounds and I don't have to worry about priority. I can hear footsteps pretty well, actually, at least in the Gulag. So I don't know if footsteps need to be louder. I think they just need to be literally priority number one in this layering chain. And then if they do that and they actually do that, and then footsteps are still not being heard, then let's increase the volume. But I think we could start there. And maybe footstep audio is loud enough as it is, but it's just so deprioritized that we don't even know that. And it also needs to be a higher priority than your own footsteps, by the way. It's another thing they need to do. And again, duh. Because in real life, if I'm walking on metal, I know what my own footsteps sound like. And I'm going to know that, like, if there's other footsteps somewhere else, I'm going to, like, clue into that. Especially when I'm afraid for my life with a loaded fucking fully automatic assault rifle on me. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. This is a start. But if all they did was put it literally one tick up on the gigantic list of sounds that can be made in Warzone, then it's obviously barely anything and certainly not enough.
Agreed.
But we'll see.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's going to take some testing.
It's going to take some internal play testing that they've never done. Okay, moving on to ranged melee weapon damage reduced. So gun butting now requires 4 successive hits to eliminate a target, up from 3. Pistols require 4 hits on a target with 250 health. So that would mean 5 or 6 on someone who's full health. Good. Fuck melee. Great.
Well, then take the top break out of Iron Trials as the default gun.
Take the top break out of Warzone. Yeah. I mean, I agree. Yeah. So, okay, cool. I'm fine with this. This is fine. Next, slide camera lock, which is a Modern Warfare 2019 pre-COVID bug. This is how long ago this bug is. This is how long this bug has been a thing. This bug existed before COVID. Just to put it in perspective, in the beta of MW 2019.
You don't even play enough. How would you know that? You don't even play the game. How would you know that it's a bug? It's a joke. It's a joke, the TikToker.
I was like, what?
You were all confused for a second.
Shout out to the dumbest TikTok
That was my
comment.
response. Your response right there was my face when I first read that.
Yeah.
Huh?
That makes sense.
Just
so here's what they
confusion.
said. We have addressed the horizontal camera locking that would occasionally happen if a player was sliding while navigating a slope or stairs. So for a couple issues. First of all, the camera has never locked horizontally. It's always been only vertical. So you could still move left and right with the slide camera bug. You just couldn't move up or down with your camera. So if you fixed the horizontal, no, you didn't, because that was never the bug. It was vertical, number one. Use the right words.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Number two, I hope it's true, but I have no idea. I will say, I did not encounter this bug today in like 5 games. But I didn't like go to any stairs and slide to try and test it. Because again, I have PTSD. I've been playing with this same dog shit game breaking bug for 3 years now. So I just, in the fiber of my being, in my DNA, I just know to not slide on stairs. So even if it is fixed, I wouldn't know for a while because I know better now than to slide downstairs. So I don't know if they actually fixed it or not. But I do know it didn't happen to me. But again, that's because I'm used to not sliding on stairs because I know that this bug has been in since, again, pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Did you encounter this at all?
No. But also they said slope or stairs, it absolutely at times would happen on flat surfaces. So I hope it's fixed on everything. We'll find out.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Hey, trust me. If this happens to me once, I'm tweeting. I'm stopping what I'm doing and I'm tweeting.
That's what Jake said this morning. He's like, all right, time to see if I'm going to yell at Ted or not today.
Yeah, I'm going to go find some stairs and try this, though.
Find some
and if
stairs
it doesn't work,
push them off of it. Push them down it.
Be my joke, yeah. Okay. Here's a great change. Incoming kill streak warning banner. Moved the banner when like precision airstrike inbound to below the weapon reticule, spell check, to prevent visual obstruction. Holy shit. They did it. Tanner read this and he messaged me and he's like, dude, Raven listens to the podcast. I hope so. And if they got this from us, you're welcome, Ted. You're welcome, Ted Timmy Timmons. Duh, by the way. And if you guys played your own game ever, you would have fixed this in the first week. You don't. But luckily you listen to us, so thanks. Yeah, and you're welcome also. Great change. Should have been day one. I swear to God, this has been in the game for 3 years, and it's been annoying everyone for 3 years. And then they finally decide to fix it. It took them 5 minutes. A fix that took 5 minutes, what we just had to deal with, that was so frustrating for 3 years. I bet you. It actually pisses me off thinking about the random dev who Ted was like, hey, by the way, can we like move the kill streak banner down on the UI? Oh, sure, boss, no problem. Done in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's all it took. It's all it took, man. I mean, finally, I'm glad, but I don't know.
Yeah, and it was funny because the first time we got the notification, we then ran away as far as possible and still got down to it. So that's still in the game. Cool.
That's fun.
At least the notification's in a better spot, but I'm still getting down to it 50 meters from where I was told it was. So, yeah, that's dope, man.
Right. Yes. So this is good. Next, menu browsing interruption. Players will no longer be brought back to the front end lobby when the player host queues into matchmaking. So if you're editing a gun and your party leader queues, supposedly, it won't like rip you out of gunsmith. That's good if true. And so that's nice. Buyback player prioritization. The buy station interface will prioritize dead squad members by listing them first. So now you can always like click the first one if someone's dead, and that'll always be someone who's by a bull. Great. Nice little quality of life change there. Weapon trade station updated. Perk satchels are added to epic, legendary, and fire sale trades. What's a perk satchel? I think they mean plate satchel. So if you trade in an epic, you can get a satchel from it now. That's cool. Ghost perk adjustment. Reduced player movement speed threshold required to trigger the perk. That's interesting. So now probably what that means is instead of being required to be sprinting for your ghost not appearing on map thing to work, you can probably just be walking and it works. This is fine. Ghost is still not very good. So this is fine, I think.
By the way, that weapon trade station thing, I'm pretty sure isn't a ground loot perk called a perk satchel when you get one perk. So I think all it's saying is you can get perks from the weapon trade stations now.
Oh,
which is actually really
is
good. Because if you can turn in someone's gun and potentially get a perk, that's actually massive.
Right. And then again, armored truck adjusted. No, they didn't do this again. They're just restating what they've already done, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't understand what they're... So they say in season there, right? Mm-hmm. But then somewhere else up here for something they already did, it says in season. The stem adjustments. Next to that, it said in season.
Yeah.
So I don't understand what the fuck
means.
they're... Yeah, who knows?
So they may or may not have further decreased the health and turret damage of the armored truck. We don't know.
We may never know, yeah.
But also, this is a good change. The sabotage contract is no longer in solo game modes. Duh. This is good. You shouldn't have armored Berthas with 50 cals and getting seats.
Wait, yeah, I thought that they already did do. Didn't they already do that?
Oh, yeah, maybe they did. Then maybe that is what that means, yeah.
Maybe they didn't. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't play solos.
But there you go. Now, moving on to other adjustments.
Ooh.
Lethals. Frag grenade damage increased by 24.5%. Okay, just make it 25, but all right. Throwing knife damage increased by 20%. Hits to the upper torso and head will one shot down. Wow.
So if I'm not mistaken, it did that early in Caldera, and then when they changed it to 300 health, that's when it stopped doing it?
Correct. And now they're just like putting it back to that state.
Yep. Yeah, because I ran throwing knives. I ran throwing knives early in Caldera. That was when I got that one nutty play with the snapshots, the hip fire PPSH, and the throwing knives. I like 1v3'd those guys pushing my building. I throwing knifed like 2 of them. Fucking sprayed the other guy down. It was with those. So that was when they were one shot down, I believe. And they that does make them pretty good actually, because if you're like looking at a doorway and someone runs through that and you throw a throwing knife, like that's you gonna have a pretty good chance of getting a one shot down there.
Yeah.
Because at this point,
and
like,
what other lethal are you running on this dog shit map?
Frags maybe now, but they take too long, man.
Yeah.
If I'm throwing a lethal, it's because I'm pushing something. I don't want to sit there with a frag grenade in my hand like an asshole waiting to, throw it. It's just annoying. I essentially only use thermites at this point to set off combat scout and tell me where someone's at in a building. That's primarily why I use them.
Now you can just throw a snapshot every 2 seconds instead.
Oh, well, I do both. That's what I do. I push this building, threw a snapshot, knew they were upstairs, threw a thermite, pinged them again, push the building, etc. So I use that nice little combination. But I may go back to throwing knives now. They are fun. Very fun to use.
It might be worth doing even on Caldera.
They're going to be insane on Rebirth now, yeah.
Well, they're basically going to be the same on Rebirth.
Oh, yeah, they already were the same, huh?
Which we'll get into. So yeah, by the way, let's keep in mind, all these damage increases are to just get them to basically like where they were before the health change. So like the proportion of damage is probably about the same as before the health change for all of these, with an exception. Claymore damage up by 20%. Prox mine damage up by 24.5%. Semtex damage only up by 5%. Interesting. So now, like Semtex, I don't know how much damage they do.
I thought they already did a shit ton, but it's a pretty small circle, isn't it? I think that's what they were.
Something like that. I don't know.
Remember.
But yeah. They say they're going to continue to tune and balance across the board. What's the go-to lethal on Caldera now? Either. I think it might be throwing knives, dude. Especially with how many self-reses people are going to have now.
Yeah.
And how fast they move.
For sure.
When they're downed.
Yeah.
It's a decent idea. For sure. So. Anyway. Yeah. I don't know either, honestly. I don't think it matters that much. I don't think lethals play that big of a role on Caldera. So. And now we've gotten the extra health to rebirth as well. Huge fucking W. We needed this for rebirth. So now, if you're fully plated, you'll have 300 health on Rebirth Island, just like you do on Caldera. So this is very good. We've been begging for this. Took them a little too long, but cool. And this should shift up the rebirth meta a fuck ton, by the way, in ways that I don't understand. Because even when everything was 250 health, the rebirth meta was way different than the Caldera meta. And that became even more true when the health totals were different. And now the health totals are the same again, but they're all 300. So it's like, holy shit, man. Rebirth's playground right now, I think. And this is really good. I'm a big fan of this.
Yeah.
And in private matches now as well. I guess it wasn't in private matches before. That's interesting.
I literally already saw a bunch of the Rebirth sweats on Twitter complaining about being able to 1v4 now. It's like, oh, shut the fuck up.
Oh, yikes.
You little rat.
Yeah.
Dumb little rat. Oh, you can't get 8 clips a game now? Go fuck yourself. Dumb kid.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is cool. Ground loot. All maps and modes. Adjusted to accommodate new weapons and new builds. And there actually is new ground loot now. Because like I picked up a Whitley, which is not a new gun. But they added it to the ground loot pool, so that's good.
Different STG builds, I noticed.
Yeah. Common and uncommon weapons have been upgraded to feature more attachments to enable more early game confidence in weapons you acquire. So common items now have 3 instead of 2 attachments, which are the gray/white ones. And then uncommon, the green rarity items now have 5 attachments instead of 4.
Nice.
So that's cool. I'll take that. I feel like a lot of these have translated to extended mag attachments. I've been noticing a lot more extended mags in like everything I pick up, which is good. That's the attachment you'd want to add. So that's cool. And then Gulag loadouts, finally, on Caldera, have been refreshed. New Gulag guns.
Nice. First time since Caldera came out, guys. Let's go. Good job.
I don't know if they're good, but the Gulag guns I've gotten so far have all been fully automatic, so that's nice.
I got an Armaguerra, which was, I believe, the first time I'd seen that in the Gulag. That was cool.
Yeah. So about goddamn time. So yeah, big fan of that, depending on what the Gulag loadouts are. And there you go. So now some bug fixes. We're not going to read all these, but there are some. Fixed an issue that was preventing 120 hertz support on Xbox Series consoles. Finally. It was a technical issue, and maybe it's been solved. Maybe not, but maybe. Great. Big fan of that, if true. Let's see.
I think that's it.
I think that's about it.
Oh, fix an issue which caused the UGR,
Yes.
Black Ops Cold War to experience unintended damage reduction when the EOD perk and explosive rounds magazine attachment was equipped. So we said they'd never fix that because people won't use that gun, so they did fix that. People still aren't going to use it, though.
True.
It's an underwater rifle, by the way. Underwater.
By the way, an underwater rifle that has a unique attachment where you fire rounds. Didn't think about this until right now. Why would you design a gun to be used underwater and then load it with fire rounds?
Yeah.
In an area where fire won't happen because physics and stuff.
Nice. Yeah.
Huh? Hey, what? Hey, wait, what?
Yep.
Cool, man. I guess that operator who's smuggling kids across the North Korean border before it exists is also using this gun. Just doing other things that don't make a goddamn lick of sense. So cool. But other than that, after that, they list some known issues. So we're not reading. There's a lot. And then we're going to get into some weapon adjustments. So these are buffs and nerfs to a vast array of weapons and how they perform in Warzone. We are no longer going to read every single thing on this. We're basically just going to tell you if it was nerfed or buffed. We might pick out a particular example and tell you exactly what happened, but it's boring to listen to us read multiplier change. Let's tell you if it's nerfed or buffed. In most cases, and if you want, you can go look at the patch notes yourselves for your particular gun. But I just don't think it makes sense for us to just literally read patch notes or like weapon multipliers and shit. So keep that in mind. We're not going to be doing that anymore, except for a few cases. So starting with, first of all, we got the new SMG. Don't care. Cold War AK nerfed slightly. AS-44 Vanguard buffed slightly. The bar buffed significantly with a way bigger headshot damage multiplier now. 1.85 from 1.5. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And with a gun that fires pretty slow, it's pretty easy to line up headshots in between shots if a target's like in a window or something. If they're like moving, if they're sprinting left to right, not so easy to do. But regardless, if you aim for the head with a gun like the bar, you can hit headshots pretty damn easily.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. Next, Coupe Carbine.
Bigger mags
slightly.
too on that, by the way. You get like 20 extra bullets for the mags on the bar. So it was buffed a lot, yeah.
That is a lot. That is worth mentioning, yeah. A lot of extra bullets. Coupe Carbine velocity was buffed slightly. C58 nerfed decently. The AMAX nerfed a fuck ton. It's not worth using anymore.
Gutted,
completely gutted. Farah nerfed slightly. Nikita buffed slightly. Itra Burst buffed, but it doesn't matter. NZ41 buffed a lot. And I would encourage you guys to maybe take a look at that. But I think Jake tried it, and it's still not worth using as a primary AR. So,
also though, he hasn't probably used it in 5 months. It may have been set up wrong. It will be interesting to see, but the SCG is still just really good. So we'll see.
We'll see, indeed. The Vargo from Cold War buffed slightly. The Volk buffed slightly. XM4 nerfed slightly. Not that bad. Not that bad. Still perhaps worth using. But the STG wasn't touched, so probably not. STG is the best they are in the game. That's still true. The STG is just the best they are. They didn't touch it, they didn't buff it or nerf it, but they nerfed the next best gun, which was the XM4. So now the STG is just undoubtedly the best they are in Warzone right now. Unless the bar is really good. I haven't tried it. But it's hard for me to imagine that it is, to be honest. So there you go. Marksman rifles were changed, and I refuse to read these on principle. Sniper rifles. HDR. Bullet drop-off increased, so it was nerfed, but the damage and shit is the same. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Pellington nerfed extremely slightly. ZRG nerfed a lot. AX-50 nerfed slightly. Three-line rifle massively buffed in a ton of ways. The MW Dragunov buffed. Doesn't matter. Rytech AMR changed. Nerfs and buffs.
Rytech one-shots now.
Within max damage range. So that's a pretty big overall buff, I would say. So that actually might be worth looking into.
And the max damage range is 59.
Meters.
Interesting, yeah.
So something to consider, maybe. M82, which is another semi-auto sniper, this one from Cold War, can now also one-shot within its max damage range. And its max damage range is the same as it used to be, which is, I don't know what it is. And then besides that, it was like pretty buffed, I would say. Type 99, which is another sniper, buffed. Gorenko, buffed.
Doesn't matter.
Vanguard car, and doesn't matter. Vanguard car, buffed. And that's that.
Added Frenzy weapon perk. Which one is Frenzy?
It's where you get health regen after you get a kill. It's
That'll be
completely
really
dog
good
shit.
on the car, yeah.
It's quick fix, but significant. Yeah, exactly. It's quick fix, but significantly worse.
Cool.
And I don't even know if it works in Warzone, honestly.
We're to the sad part. We have any sad music we can play?
I don't know, but it's terrible. It makes sense, though, kind of.
Can I find sad music to play on Spotify?
Shotguns. Normally, I would like this, but I've been jacking kids off using the Jack 12, of course. Damage decreased by 20% for the following shotguns: the Street Sweeper, the Gallo SA-12, the Origin 12, the R90, the Gracie Auto, and my boy. They got my boy, the Jack 12. Damage decreased by 20%.
Fuck you.
I mean,
Nerfing
the little
K-Bammers
tiny
again.
piece of fun I carved out in Warzone
For 2 weeks you had fun.
stripped from me. Yep. I even got a Damascus Jack 12 emblem, and all for what, man? To get pissed, shitted, and farted on by Raven.
I wonder if you jacked Ted off and you didn't even know.
I hope I did. And I hope I mag dumped him too. For sure.
Man,
But
I would have loved to jack Ted off one
He was
more
probably
time.
never in my lobby, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Damage decreased by 20%. So their reasoning for this is that they changed the health, and even though they increased the health by 50 health, that didn't change the shots to kill or time to kill for many shotguns, including the Jack 12. That's why the Jack 12 was so good, which we explained. So does this make sense? Yes. Is 20% the appropriate number? Yes. Fuck shotguns. But also, I'm going to miss my Jack 12, and I feel really bad. And now the Jack 12 is definitely 100% not worth using. Because it was already barely worth using with how slow you move. It was already barely worth. Yeah, it was barely worth using. Now it's not at all. So shotguns are gone, which I'm fine with. Shotguns are cringe, but I am going to miss the Jack 12. I can say that much. So, F's in the chat.
We're going to have to pour one out tonight for our boy, Mr. Jack,
Captain
Captain Jack.
Pour one out for Captain Jack, goated with the sauce, 2022 to 2022.
That sucks, man. 1 month of fun in Warzone, and they took it away. They stripped it from you.
Steel Switch made so much fun and exciting art for Captain Jack.
Oh, they wasted
with the
Steel
Jack
Switch's
12.
time. Yeah, fuck that.
And it's, they've done this to Steel Switch, or a pensioner. What are we doing, man? You know, I mean, come on, man. So anyway, whatever. That happened. Not that big of a deal for most people. And then they buffed the combat shotgun from Vanguard, which is a pump, which I'm going to unironically take a look at in Warzone. You're definitely not going to be able to one pump kids, but there are times where you can, like, a lot of times actually, where when you're using a pump, the play is to just hop in the building, shoot, peek out of the doorway while you rack the slide, pop back in. If this can be like a 2-shot kill, could be pretty fucking good. I don't know. Probably not. Hopefully not, honestly. But I'm going to try it. Because there's a lot of buffs here. For
but it's like
combat shotgun.
Damage range, velocity doesn't matter on a shotgun.
Damage range matters. Velocity doesn't.
Damage bonus increase? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. You could give it a try.
It's probably not worth using.
It's probably horrendous,
right. SMGs, Milano nerfed. probably needed to happen. People were using it a lot. Lapa changed. Overall nerfed. OTS nerfed. Armagera buffed. Owen Gun insanely nerfed. Gutted even. Yeah, Owen got
well,
pissed,
some of the
shitted,
changes
and
was like
farted
the
on.
fire rate was decreased like 0.5%. That's not that much, but
Yeah, but upper extremities multiplier from 1.45 to 1.0. That's a lot. That's a lot.
yeah. The Arma, by the way, since that's pretty popular, they slightly reduced the initial recoil, which I didn't remember it having a lot of initial recoil, honestly, but it says slightly. And then the barrel everyone runs the 315 vertical recoil multiplier decreased to 40%, down from 50. So.
Yeah.
And then the other thing was a mag no one uses anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, got it. Okay, moving on. The Modern Warfare AUG, the submachine gun, nerfed. I mean, when is the last time a person loaded into Warzone with an AUG?
It did have a good time to kill, didn't it? Wasn't it very competitive, but people didn't run it because the reload speed, you had to use the 30-round mags or the 60 and have awful ADS and awful mobility. It always killed pretty fast. People tried to make it meta. Some of the content creators, well, they wouldn't try. They would just make a clickbait video to tell other people to use it and
they
then
would
not
lie
use it.
to people that it
Swag
could
would
be
post
meta,
a
right.
35 kill Caldera gameplay with the AUG, but really only get 2 kills with it.
The AUG, he got 35 kills with an AUG on his back in Caldera. Yeah.
Was on his character.
And maybe finished his thirsts with it twice. Yeah. So, very cool. I mean, what are we doing? Wellgun, very slightly, it was changed. I wouldn't even say it was nerfed. And then the UGR magazine capacity increased to 40 up from 30. That's good. I'm going to try the UGR with these changes. They fixed the bugs, they say, so they say. And 40 round mag, which is usable. I'll give it a try. Probably not worth using, though, to be honest. Pistol changes, which I refuse to read on principle. Doesn't matter.
They nerfed the Diamati, though. That's good. Yes, let's go.
That does matter.
That's huge.
That
Pretty
does
big
matter.
nerf. Max damage and mid damage both hit hard. Let's fucking go.
That's good. Yeah,
That's probably going to be like
thing is
another burst to
gross in
kill.
Rebirth.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, plus
Yeah,
with the extra
definitely.
health. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Fuck you, Diamati, for
Yeah,
sure.
Fuck you, man.
By the way, if you're a Rebirth player who gets like tempered plus Diamati off rip, I would strongly encourage you change that to a Cold War amp, the full auto pistol. That thing chunks. It's pretty good, dude. That's should take the place of the Diamati in those loadouts, in my opinion.
Doesn't have a lot of ammo though.
Launchers, again on principle, not reading, doesn't matter. The Akimbo perk for pistols now reduces damage by 10%. I don't think this was a problem anymore, but I'm fine with that.
Well, since they buffed some of the pistols there, that's probably what they're thinking. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Actually, yeah, maybe a good point. MX silencer on all guns. Bullet velocity increased to plus 15% instead of plus 10%. Okay. And then an F8 stabilizer damage range increased to 15% up from 10%. No one uses that. And then the rose skin. We have made a 70% adjustment to increase the brightness. How poorly phrased is that? To the infamous Rose outfit. With the recent lighting improvements to Caldera, it once again made her outfit out of balance with the rest of the operator options available to players.
How does that make sense? Wait. How are they saying they had to increase the brightness with the, quote, improvement to lighting? How the fuck does that make any sense? If you improve the lighting, why'd you have to increase the brightness of the skin? That's what I'm telling you guys. When all these people were baited and saying, oh, the lighting's so much better. It's not. They changed it, and it's darker in a lot of areas. So yes, I'm glad this happened because that's what I said, like, first day. I'm like, oh, you can't see dark skins inside buildings at all anymore. They're even darker than before. But hey, everyone's like, oh, no, the lighting's better. Go fuck yourself. It wasn't. It's the same or worse in some areas. So yeah, hey, thanks lighting update. Sweet, man.
Although the storm is past, so we're back to the original Caldera lighting, which is good.
Was it?
No, yeah, no more storm. No more storm.
I didn't even notice.
I'm almost positive, yeah.
Well, then why are they saying the recent lighting improvements to Caldera?
Hey, great question. Why say made a 70% adjustment to increase the brightness instead of increase the brightness by 70%? Who knows? These people can barely write. They're scarcely literate. And we know that. But I don't know.
Just
so, anyway.
like our weapon balance, we are very conscious that this operator meta plays an equally important role in second-to-second gameplay health, so this change was necessary. So they're comparing weapon balance to the darkness of an operator skin. Okay.
Got it.
Cool, man. Sure.
So,
nice.
There you go. So that's it. Overall, opinions, Tanner, on this patch for Warzone.
Okay. Everything sounds really good on paper. Well, mostly everything. The fast travel system is by far the worst part of this, in my opinion.
Correct.
I don't want it in the game. It shouldn't be in a BR. I've said it enough. It doesn't matter. I just simply don't want it there. So that's very frustrating and stupid to add in. Everything else sounds good. For the weapon balancing, I don't get why they didn't touch the STG. But again, they nerfed the Cold War AK. Okay. Who was still using that? Okay. Got it. And gutted the AMAX. Okay. Cool. And
don't forget the Modern Warfare AUG, which was a menace.
Yeah.
On the island. Yeah.
Oh, an absolute menace. So yeah, all in all, to me though, a lot of good things here. What's going to happen in 2 weeks? We're going to be used to all these changes, and it's going to feel the same again. It's just, it's too far. We're just at the point where nothing's going to be exciting until we get a new game, and that's what it is to me. So these are cool right now. I like all of them, but how is my experience going to differ 2 weeks from now? It won't. I'll be raging off still, or I won't be playing. Cool.
Yeah.
Great changes, but it's just, we need a new game.
We're all ready for Warzone.
We need a new
2.
game.
And it's not even Activision's fault anymore. It's just, I mean, kind of it is. But, like, there's nothing they could do about it now.
That's what I said. You just get to a point where you're sick of a game. And it's just at that point for me. And I know a lot of other people. So
yeah,
this will hold people over for a little while. Then Season 4 will come and it'll hold you over for a little while again. You'll stop playing.
And it's a good sign for Warzone 2, which is like the shining light that you
it's like all of the, I'm not really taking away from Raven. They're doing a lot of good things right now. It's just for me, there's just nothing going on. There's no ranked mode. The game's just boring. But I'm really glad they're making all these changes because it does show in the future they know what to do because they are proving that in a lot of aspects, making good decisions. So look forward to that for sure.
Yeah. So overall, I give this patch like an 8.5 out of 10. I think most of this is like very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it we should have already gotten, but like really good quality of life changes. Some good actual changes like adding high value loot zones when they ever deign to do that. Changing the gulag guns fucking finally, letting the storm pass. A lot of good shit here that I am very pleased with. Serpentine. Snipers are done now. That's something. Adding new perks is cool. Changing up how stims perform needs to be fixed. We need to adjust snapshot grenades now. The gulag tokens and redeploy tokens remains to be seen how that's going to affect the game. And I think the only things that I like already am positive or I don't like are the speed boost, which I don't really care about. And more importantly, the fast travel system, which I guarantee you I will never like. That is dumb, feels out of place. That's what I feel the worst about in this patch. And it makes me especially nervous for Warzone 2 if this launches with a fast travel system like this. Why buy a UAV? It doesn't matter. People are going to be popping in and out of places all the time. You're going to be playing whack-a-mole, and whether or not you know where the moles are doesn't matter because they can balloon to you in the blink of an eye, or they can literally teleport to you in the blink of an eye as well. So I don't like the fast travel system. I think it's cringe, gimmicky, dumb, out of place, not good for the health of the game. just make a map you can move on so that you don't have people complaining about not being able to move so that you have to add a dumb Band-Aid solution like this. That would be the better thing to do. And hopefully they do that with Warzone 2. But everything else is good. Like, all this other shit is good. The squad HUD, awesome. Radar jammers are cool. There were other things. The weapon balancing changes seem to be pretty good. They're trying to make only Vanguard guns good guns now, which is what they should have done months ago. But I'm glad we're finally going to see like a Vanguard only meta, because I'm bored of playing with old guns. So that's good. And we're trying a lot of shit, and that's cool. And I'm excited to see how the game plays with all of these changes in mind. Overall, a very good patch for sure.
Yeah.
So now, moving on to, and we have another big thing to talk about here, news and upcoming changes. Tanner, kick us off, buddy.
So to start off, as of today, Call of Duty has a new shop. It is shop.callofduty.com.
I think you misread the URL. It's the dropshot.com/store.
Yeah,
that's where you can get the new Call of Duty merch.
Oh my god, it's all a bunch of it's like 50% off too. Holy shit!
Damn, that's crazy. A blowout launch sale. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So, really though, I am very pleasantly surprised. If you're listening right now, I'm telling you, go to shop.callofduty.com. They have some dope stuff. They definitely, as Raz said, consulted with 100 Thieves Nade Shot. I mean, they got like hype beast type shit on here. I was expecting like a Coles type shirt, like,
literally a Coles type shirt is the perfect explanation of what I was expecting.
I would rather be playing video games right now, or like with a controller.
Yeah, yep.
And I was 100% expecting that, and it's the exact opposite. They've got like dope hype beast shit. Like, we were looking at this, I'm like, dude, this is what we need to get some ideas for our drop from this, because there's a lot of cool things here. So there's hats, there's sweatshirts. It's good, well priced too. I mean, shirts are like $30, hoodies are like 60 or so. Our merch, of course, is a lot cheaper and a better deal, and supports us instead of someone who tries to have their secretary killed in real life, allegedly. So you're supporting us instead of Bobby Kotick. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. So I'm a big fan. I may pick up some items, or better yet, you can send some items to us at our P.O. box. I wear a large shirt and a hat. Raz wears a medium shirt, I believe, and a hat.
Yes.
So please send us something. I mean, send me a picture of your dick at this point. I don't even care, man.
Yeah. Some Polaroids, whatever.
Literally anything. You guys are fucking horse shit.
So first of all, the merch does look, some of it's terrible. Some of it looks good though. A pretty good proportion of it looks good. But most surprising to me was how much shit there is. Mm-hmm. There is a lot. It is a big store, dude. There's a ton of different designs and styles and shit. Check it out. It's cool.
Yeah.
Some of the shit's dope.
Yeah. I would buy some items, but I can't afford any because we got 2 new patrons this month, so I can't. So that's cool, though. If you guys can't afford it, though, feel free to buy stuff for yourself. We just can't be.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thanks.
Must be nice, indeed.
Next up here, this was the big one. Exciting, but also nothing too crazy. So, officially, as of yesterday, yesterday or 2 days ago? Was this 2 days ago now? When did I take these screenshots?
It was at time. I don't remember.
Whatever. The Modern Warfare 2 art has been revealed. Dope logo with Ghost's face. It says Call of Duty MW. It's got their green logo. Ghost looks really dope. He's got like a headset on. He's got, of course, his mask. It's cool looking. They dropped like this artwork trailer, which I've like never seen before. And it was basically, they went to the port of Long Beach. They had this giant mural painted, which was real, like on the port. As my brother-in-law said, they held up all the baby formula. Thousands of babies are dying because they can't eat. Bobby's spray painting the port of Long Beach. I mean, hundreds of ships lined up. Yeah. Hundreds of ships lined up waiting to get in. Activision is tagging everything up.
Yeah.
Killing people everywhere. It's their fault directly.
Yeah. Exactly. That's a joke, by the way.
Killing more people, yeah.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
So there was this whole artwork thing. They invited some content creators out, like J God, Lucky, Shamu, a couple other guys I don't really know too well. they posted like some little vlogs. I got to go on this little helicopter ride above the artwork, and then basically they released a 50-second video that was cool, but a waste of my time other than the last few seconds of it, which finally revealed, well, not finally, but it revealed the actual, no, wait, was the launch date already revealed before that?
No, it was revealed with the trailer.
It was that, yeah. So October 28th is the official launch date now for Modern Warfare 2. And also in the trailer, they hinted at a June 8th reveal of everything. That was spray painted on one of the little boxes there.
And predicted by Tom Henderson, whom we will have as a guest on June 4th at 12 p.m. Pacific time at thedropshot.com/live.
So yeah, that's the two biggest things. You don't need to go watch this trailer. It really doesn't matter. We're telling you the two biggest things. We're getting a reveal for something. Campaign, maybe. We don't know. Something is being revealed for Modern Warfare 2, June 8th, 2022. And the official release date of Modern Warfare 2 is October 28th at midnight, meaning October 27th, 9 p.m. for us on the West Coast.
Pacific
and I will
time,
not be out of town, thank God.
Oh, nice. You confirmed. Good.
I already checked. Yeah, I'm gone like the weekend prior and a few days prior. But I'll be back.
Yeah, I did not expect to get a release date remotely fucking soon. So that's the only thing I cared about. And it's good to know. So now we know October 28th. Now we can make our little countdown timers. Yeah. We can get our
a countdown timer. Forgot about that.
Our nativity calendars.
The most
ready.
Yeah. The best thing about the Season 3 Reloaded Vanguard update was finding out the release date for Modern Warfare 2. That was the best case scenario, is knowing you just don't have to play Vanguard for that much longer.
Correct.
Over.
Yes. We're close. So it was cool.
You're still playing that.
It was a cool idea, the art trailer. Yeah. I mean, I don't feel strongly about it. It was better than the first piece of... It was better than the first Call of Duty video for the upcoming Call of Duty title we've gotten in at least the last 3 years. Because it was always like a voice line and a black screen, and then it would say like Modern Warfare 2019 releasing at a time. Yeah. And then it was over. And it was like, okay, cool. We got literally nothing from that. But this at least looked cool. You saw the logo again, and we got a release date. So I'm happy with it. Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. Another thing kind of to note is that we don't know exactly what all of it means yet, but over a bunch of these artwork images they've laid out, there's like topography kind of over the faces and whatnot. And like Tom has started figuring out what some of it is. So like over Ghostface, it's the Gulf of California. There's another image of Ghost that is a map Mexico, of like downtown Chicago. So something playing into like the lore, the storyline, whatever the campaign's going to feed into probably. And also one of the like operators that was teased or artwork was revealed for him is like Mexican Special Forces. So it is sounding like it's going along with like the drug cartel type shit in South America. So maybe
North America.
Well, no, because it's like Colombia and countries down there.
Oh, Colombia also? Oh, okay.
Well, I think what it is, because everyone's been saying like Colombia the entire time. Maybe it's not, but it could be like Mexican Special Forces or teamed up with like Ghost and other special forces fighting the drug cartel, something like that. But anyways, it seems to be going along with something like that. So that's cool, I guess. It is confirmed to be on last gen consoles.
Oh,
because that was kind of a point. I think this will undoubtedly be the last Call of Duty main title to be on last gen consoles. I don't care as long as they're like separate. If they hold back newer gen consoles because they put it out on last gen, that's going to really fucking suck for people with new gen consoles. If, for example, well, there's got to be an FOV slider, right? But what if something like that happens because the old gen consoles can't handle it again? I doubt it would at this point, but you never know. And again, there's just certain graphical things they can't do because they still have to design the game for last gen consoles.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people complaining about this, actually.
Yeah. As long as like for the FOV slider question, if it's like, okay, we're giving everyone on next gen consoles an FOV slider and we're not giving it to you on last gen, and deal with it, then that's fine. But if they are like not letting anyone but PC have an FOV slider because they're allowing last gen consoles to play, people will maul hard.
Yeah.
As they should. And I don't think Activision is going to make that mistake because they are still being told every day, I'm sure, where is FOV slider in Warzone after having explained why it's not in the game. So yeah, I don't think that's going to be an issue, but yeah, cool. What was I going to say? Yeah. And we also did get confirmation basically in the trailer, the artwork trailer, J.8.22 is shown spray painted, which is June 8th, 2022. That's when we're going to get another video of some kind. Almost certainly.
That's some sort of trailer reveal, official.
So that's the next big milestone in this launch that we have to look forward to. So very exciting. I'm on board.
Yeah, and then this was the other thing that's already been, I think, leaked from the Vanguard files or something. People found this. The Modern Warfare 2 upcoming Vault Edition. It's supposed like $120. Pretty crazy edition, actually. You get a battle pass, 50 tier skips, wow. 4 different operator packs, 10 hours of double XP and 10 hours of double weapon XP, a ghost pack, which includes 12 skins for Ghost and 10 more operators, early access to the open beta, and the last thing here that we're not sure what this is, it says FJX Cinder Weapon Vault. Some people are claiming Weapon like Vault, maybe probably, this has something to do with the DMZ mode. People are referring to this as like an upgraded Weapon Vault, like an upgraded stash in Tarkov or something. But who knows? I mean, that's what I've seen people speculating. I don't really know.
Black helicopters.
I don't know what else it would mean. Just because why it says vault, I'm not.
That is a great question.
I don't know what that means. We have no idea.
That's a great question.
The weapon vault does make it
means.
Sound like it's maybe something to do with the DMZ mode.
Why call the game the Vault Edition? Yeah. You might be onto something, bud.
Oh, I didn't even think about the title, Vault Edition. Yeah, you're right. That makes total sense.
You might be onto something.
I think that may be correct, yeah.
Hopefully we get more information on the DMZ mode or whatever on June 8th. That would be super interesting.
It's going to be all campaign. It's going to be a campaign, probably. And then the last 20 seconds will be a small teaser at multiplayer. And then we'll get that multiplayer reveal later. Maybe on that date you were saying earlier was that, or June 20th to 22nd, that Rebirth little event thing. Maybe that's something to do with like a multiplayer reveal.
Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought about that. I would have just thought, oh, Vault Edition, cool. But it does make sense when you think of, because a vault would be just the name they would use for the stash. The Tarkov equivalent.
Yep.
They would use the name Vault. Like, I could see that. It makes sense. Wow. Because I was thinking when I read FJX Cinder Weapon Vault, I was like, oh, it's like a weapon blueprint. But no, it's not. They wouldn't name a weapon blueprint a vault. So yeah, this is very... Wow.
Yeah.
Illuminating.
Is it illuminating?
I mean, not really, but I'm excited for the DMZ mode. This is getting me excited for the DMZ mode, dude.
Yeah. Oh, I'm more excited for DMZ than multiplayer.
Yeah. Very of course I am. Yeah. And it also looks like if you pre-order the cross-gen bundle or the Vault Edition and maybe others, you'll get early access to the open beta. This is like every COD. If you pre-order, you get early access to the beta.
It's like one day earlier, yeah.
Yeah, it's like no surprises there.
And it is confirmed PlayStation gets early access again, so they'll probably get the weekend prior, and then
very cool,
something like that.
Sick deal.
And then the other thing was there's been no talks or hints or anything in the files about an alpha, which a lot of the games have. Is there some sort of alpha specific for like PlayStation users or something like that? That's also been the thing in the past. I believe it's been like a weekend or two earlier. There's been no talk about that at all, which I guess usually there is when you look through like the files that have been put in and everything. So they're thinking there may not even be an alpha this year and just go straight to the beta. Doesn't really affect much, but thought I'd throw that out there because some people are making it a big deal because they think the game's in such a good state it doesn't need an alpha. Okay,
that's the dumbest take I've ever heard. If that's what they think. Maybe it doesn't have an alpha, but not because it's so far ahead that it doesn't need it. Huh? They're going to test the game, dude. So anyway.
Well, are they?
Was that a tick? Yeah, touche.
And last thing up here. I know you guys were all super worried about this, so don't worry, guys. Sit down, strap in, settle down. It's now official. The testers at Raven Software have voted to form the U.S. video game industry's first major union.
Wow.
Where's my air horn? You're not excited?
No, I'm not. Go on.
Next, this group of Raven testers will set out to negotiate a contract with Activision based on how Activision has reacted to Raven's union efforts. So far, safe to say the coming negotiations will be neither short nor easy, I would imagine. There we go, though. Game devs, I mean, just screaming, crying, shitting this morning, yesterday to hear this news because they're so happy that they're not going to be allegedly put to death by Bobby.
Yeah, so I have no idea what most of this means. So testers at Activision-owned Raven, so Raven testers voted to form a union. By the way, there were a total of 22 votes. So does that mean Raven Software has 22 people testing Warzone? Does that perhaps mean there are only 22 guys and girls or whatever testing Warzone? Hey, let's have some more people testing Warzone than not even 24, first of all. If it doesn't mean that, who's voting and why? I don't know what that means. Also, why are they voting? Does this actually give them any authority in any way whatsoever? Or is it just like a department going to a bar and being like, yeah, we're a union now, and it means absolutely nothing? I think that's what this is.
I mean, they're going to get a $4 an hour raise for being in a union, and then they're going to have to pay the union back $4.50 an hour for all their union dues and everything. Got it.
And I don't think Activision's even going to recognize it.
Yeah, I don't know.
This
how
is
any of that
literally
works.
like their employees LARPing. Like, oh, we're in a union. Activision's like, no, you're not, but cool. If you think that, I guess. I don't care. That's why they haven't even started contract negotiations. Or negotiations of any kind.
I mean, yeah. I don't get how they can just supposedly form their own union, but it then have to go through negotiations with Activision. Like, how does all of that work?
Yeah, I don't understand any of it. Yeah. I have no idea.
Well, anyways, Raven is saved. We'll never have a bug again because they're unionized. Pog.
Yeah. Until the union goes on strike, and then we get no playtesting for months.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Game will perform exactly the same. Don't worry, because they don't test the game anyway. So this doesn't matter.
Dude, that explains why they fixed the slide lock camera bug, is because the workers finally came back, the testers finally came back, and that's why it was fixed.
Yeah, that's right.
That explains it.
During BO4, right?
They went on strike during BO4, yeah. So when MDub came out and it was bugged, it wasn't fixed until just recently when they weren't on strike. Fuck, that makes so much sense.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
God bless our Raven testers, man.
Yeah, hopefully the union's super strong so that doesn't happen again. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, what are we doing here, guys?
The union won't even let them work over 20 hours a week. So, I mean, we're going to have a lot of fun bugs coming up, man.
Fun and exciting, for sure.
Fun bugs. Let's go.
So, all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen's, boys and girls, that's it. I'm tired. I'm done. And I love you guys. So, patreon.com/thedropshot, best way to support the show. 7 bonus eps a month. We released one on Rebirth this morning. Is available to all patrons, so check it out. Patreon.com/thedropshot. Our merch sale is still ongoing for the rest of this month. After this month, we go back to normal prices, so get your shit while you want it. We're having Tom on June 4th, 12 p.m. Pacific time. It's going to be a blowout, fun, and exciting event. Be there live at thedropshot.com. Thank you all for watching and listening. Have an excellent evening. Remember, stay humble.
Stay humble.